gorgeous afternoon, early evening in the Denver metropolitan area. Tonight, game 2 of this 3-game set between the Rockies and the Diamondbacks. Those kids are happy, but if you saw them last night, and the D-backs. Welcome, everybody. Good evening. I'm Drew Goodman. Tonight, we begin the broadcast talking about Chris Iannetta. He's kind of flown a little bit beneath the radar this year. He's a guy that was up and down between Colorado and AAA a year ago, and this season he has really taken off, in particular over the last 6 weeks. And we asked his skipper to talk about his progress through 2008 earlier today.
Well, there's been some solid growth behind the plate defensively, as far as getting to know the bulk of the pitching staff, working with each and every pitcher now. His playing time was very intermittent last year. Throwing strong arm, but still not what we want to see with the results. So there's an opportunity for improvement there. Run production has started to come into play, so there's been a lot of areas of growth for him this season.
And one of the areas that he's had the most improvement is with his bat. You think back to last year, 4 home runs, 27 RBIs. This year, 14 home runs, 48 RBIs, and driving the ball all over the ballpark. He has a lot more confidence. Now he's not feeling for the ball at the plate. He is seeing the ball, and he's attacking it, and a lot of that comes from the confidence that Clint Hurdle and the rest of the staff have in Chris Iannetta this year. You heard about a little bit what Clint was saying, and you can just feel it. He just oozes that confidence now, something that he did not have last year at times.
I take you back to spring training, and it was floated the thought that maybe Chris wouldn't break with the Rockies. It was a writer who said it, and he said, that'd be a dumb move.
Really?
He said, I belong to be in the big leagues, and he obviously has backed that up this year in a very strong way. Tonight is Wednesday. It's our mic'd up evening, and Bob Apodaca, the Rockies pitching coach, has the microphone on. Rockies and Diamondbacks, come on back to Coors Field with us.
This is great.
Finally relaxing. Oh, boy, I really needed this.
Look at that. It's amazing.
Wow. I could stay here forever. I'll be in the car.
Okay.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
The most anticipated game of the season is only on FSN Rocky Mountain. The Quest Rocky Mountain Showdown, exclusively on FSN.
Coors Light. It's a frost-brewed beer. It's a beer brewed down as cold as 34 degrees. Aged cold. Filtered cold. Put into bottles, cans, and kegs. Cold. Why? We know you like cold beer. So ask for a beer with a taste as cold as the Rockies. Because refreshment isn't everything. It's the only thing. Frost brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Sometimes luxury needs to howl at the moon. Find a rare grass-fed steak in a red leather booth and invite all its friends. This is 5.1 surround sound luxury. Luxury advanced. The all-new, totally redesigned Acura TSX. A new generation has arrived. Acura Advance.
Hey everybody, Tom Howell alongside Tim Ring on the set of FSN Live. And Tim, as you know, Brett Favre is on the cover of Madden Football in a Packers uniform, but they're going to take care of that. They're going to give you a printout that you can put in the cover now of him in a Jets uni.
Madden?
It's a digital video game. All the kids are playing it.
You know that if you put him in that Jet uniform, you print out that picture and you slide it in, it activates the curse.
I digress. I think the curse has already happened. It had been irreparable damage to the Packers.
I don't care what you think.
When our daughter Madison was born with a rare chromosome disorder called Prader-Willi syndrome, the Children's Hospital became our second home, our second family. That's why Carl and I support Wins for Kids. And you can too. Join us in the fight by donating an amount of your choice to the Wins for Kids campaign.
Thank you, Rockies fans, for pledging over $91,000 to the Wins for Kids campaign. Log on to ColoradoRockies.com and donate today.
Because when the Rockies win, the kids win too.
Rockies baseball on FSN is brought to you by Southwest with Southwest Airlines. Fees don't fly with us. Visit southwest.com today. By Dex, your complete up-to-date source for local information. Dex knows. And by Denver Toyota. Toyota moving forward. Bob Melvin won his 304th game as the skipper of the Arizona Diamondbacks last night. He is now the all-time winningest manager in D-backs history. Move past Bob Brenly. That first pitch from Jeff Francis is upstairs high. Ball one on Stephen Drew. Drew has a 14-game hitting streak going. He was 1 for 5 last night. It was a double. He's got one of those hitting streaks going as he grounds to short, where it's basically been one hit a night, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's not one of those hitting streaks where he's hitting about 480. He's hitting just over 300 during it.
He'll take the one knock a night.
You bet. A lot of guys would. He's a good young player, and he's followed in the lineup tonight by Chris Young, who lifetime has hit .444 against Jeff Francis. Connor Jackson has hit well against Jeff as well. Then Adam Dunn in his second game in a D-back uniform. Mark Reynolds, Chad Tracy homered last night. Chris Snyder, Augie Ojeda, and left-hander Doug Davis in the 9-hole. Here's Chris Young, and the fastball's down low at 91. The scoreboard has it at 92 here. Two different radar guns. Sometimes we'll refer to the one in-house. And the reason I bring this up early in the ball game, the first couple of months of this year, it became a topic of conversation. Boy, France only throwing in the low to mid-80s, and I thought in his return, in his last start, the velocity was back where we're accustomed to seeing it. Jeff had 4 real good innings and then a couple of rough ones.
Well, and that's the thing for Jeff. Is even if the velocity's not where he wants it to be, you got to look at being able to pitch to both sides of the plate. That's the thing for Francis, though. And if he's constantly at 90, 91, to me that's overthrowing just a little bit, because he works better when he takes a little bit off, gets a little bit more movement on the baseball.
3-1, that's at the knees, 3-2, and that's where you want Jeff to live.
Yeah, and that was the pitch I was talking about. At 87 miles an hour, Dex strike zone will show us that ball caught the inside lower part of the plate.
And he got it with a good changeup. That's what it looked like out of the hand. A strikeout of Chris Young, 2 gone.
Well, he battles back from 3-0 to get the changeup, get Chris Young out on it. Front side, the Fidelity Scouting Report on Jeff. Second start since coming back off the DL. Remember, he missed 34 games earlier this year. And then, obviously, he needs to get movement on that fastball. That's when he's at best. And then control Connor Jackson. Connor's hitting well over 360 against lefties and 4 home runs off of Jeff Francis.
Good sign, Huey, because the home plate umpire, Jeff Kellogg, who's the crew chief's good umpire, he's been around a long time, he is calling the low strike.
Well, yeah, and that's where Jeff needs to work. That very first pitch of the ball game was up a little bit, and you kind of wonder, well, where was that pitch? But then again, you think if Jeff has to throw the ball there all night, he's going to get hurt. Now Jeff Kellogg's calling the ball down. That works right into Jeff's hand.
We'll cut on that pitch. I don't know if there's a hard slider or a changeup that moved down and in. Whatever it was, it had late action, which is what pitching coaches always talk about. You guys as hitters always talk about.
Late action, and that's the last probably 5 or 6 feet. Yeah, coming out of the hands, it's looking like a fastball, and then it moves, and you don't catch up to it.
On the ground to third, Stewart across the diamond, and that is a very nice start for Jeff Francis. Great tempo to the inning for Jeff.
Check this out. With this controller, your character will mimic your exact motions. See?
Sweet.
Now throw me a pitch, just like we're outside.
You're out. That ends the
Want to get away? Now you can. Fly Southwest Airlines' new nonstop service from Denver to select cities in California for just $89 one way, with no tricky fees for stuff that should be free.
You are now free to move about the country.
Since I got in the loop, when I say now, I really mean it.
Since I got in the loop, I make my point way quicker.
Since I got in the loop, everyone can eat my guts. Introducing new Quest Fiber Optic Fast Internet with connection speeds up to a blazing 3 times faster than cable. It's the speed you need for the life you lead.
What are you waiting for? Get in the loop.
Call, click, or come in to get in the loop with Quest.
If you're going to eat $5, shouldn't you get more meat? Quiznos large deli favorite sandwiches are just $5. Try the new large 5-meat stack. 5 meats, $5. Quiznos.
Let's take a look at the Rockies lineup as they'll hit the bottom of the first inning, presented by Southwest Airlines. Little change up top. Willie Taveras, struggling in the leadoff spot, is dropped to the 2-hole tonight. Clint Barmes will lead it off. He had a couple of hits last night. Then Holiday, Ionetto homered yesterday. Baker Hop, Tulowitzki in the 7-hole. Ian Stewart had a couple of hits last night, and then Jeff Francis.
The Fidelity scouting report on Doug Davis, career start number 227, first start against the Rockies this year. He struggled lately. Last 2 outings, ERA over 18, but this guy is a warrior. Think back earlier this year when he had thyroid cancer and he had surgery, and he pitched right up until the time he had surgery. So tip of the cap to Doug Davis.
And thankfully he is doing great health-wise, more importantly than anything.
Yeah.
Misses there, and it's 2-0. And you make a great point, Huey. He had the surgery already scheduled. He could sneak in another start. Of course, the Diamondbacks say, no, you sit down. He goes, no, I'll make one more start.
Yeah, how about that?
And he did.
Yeah. Yeah, had a start, I think, and then he had a day off, and then he went in for surgery the following day.
And he returned a little more than a month later.
Yeah.
3-0 on Barmes. And that's low, ball 4, so a 4-pitch walk to Clint. We'll take that every time. Here's the Diamondbacks defensively. In the outfield, it's Connor Jackson again, Chris Young, and Adam Dunn. Reynolds, Drew, Ojeda, and Tracy Snyder behind the plate. Same defensive alignment as you saw last night. Bob Melvin always shakes up the order. Diamondbacks have, what, 9 of 10 against the Rockies this year. Here's Willie, and he'll lay down a bunt and it goes foul.
Take a look at the Bird Automotive keys to victory tonight. First and foremost, find some offense. Last night, the Rockies didn't have too many opportunities with runners in scoring position, and when they did, the bats just were not good enough. They need a little bit more production from the leadoff. They've got it so far tonight. And then Jeff Francis, second start since coming off the D-backs, or off the DL, hasn't faced very well against the D-backs this year.
Push button, you're not going to get anybody. And the move by Clint Hurdle is already paying off. Barmes, who leading off innings this year, has an extraordinary batting average and on-base percentage. He gets on, and then Willie, the bunt game still involved, and he pushes it up the first base line.
And we talked about it in last night's ball game. Why not go to the right side with the lefty up out on the mount from the Hyundai cam? Willie gets that ball out in front on the soft dirt right out in front of home plate. And now Doug Davis has to try to come and get it. Chad Tracy's going, do I go? Do I stay? I got to stay. Well, Chris Snyder had no chance coming out from behind the plate.
And now you have Big Daddy at the plate, 2 on, nobody out. Doug Davis, a bit of a problem early.
I mentioned Doug Davis, his last couple starts have not been good after he almost had a perfect game there for about 7 innings. In his previous outing, he's 0-2 in only 6 innings.
Did you like facing guys like this that, you know, in the vernacular of hitters, you say he thumbs it up there?
Well, it's very difficult because you have to be patient. That is the whole key to hitting off guys like Doug Davis. He's very slow, very methodical, just turns it over a little bit.
Ground ball toward the hole. That'll get off through. Barnes around third, coming home. And no throw from Connor Jackson. It is 1-0 Colorado. That's the kind of start they were looking for.
Yeah, the offense. Find some offense. That was the key to the ball game. So far, they've done that. You get your leadoff hitters on base. And think back to last night's ball game. Top 2 guys were 0 for 8. Already today, you got a couple guys on. That strike zone, even though that ball was inside to Matt Holliday, was only 83 miles an hour. He's able to get on that, turn it over. Now you drive in Clint Barmas, and you're right back to where you started. Runners at first and second, nobody out.
RBI number 70 for Holiday. Here's Iannetta. And he takes down and in. How about Chris's numbers against lefties? .358 batting average. 6 home runs and only 53 at-bats against southpaws. He went out last night against a pretty good southpaw by the name of Randy Johnson. Asked him about that today. I said, that's one you'll always hold on to. And Chris doesn't. Chris is a very bright kid. He's a great kid, but he's pretty quiet.
Very quiet.
Exactly. And he kind of smiled and he said, "Yep."
Well, when you take Randy Johnson out of the ballpark and on your first swing, first ball that you see off him, it's got to be pretty special.
And Chris is so strong because he told me he didn't. And he didn't mean this disrespecting Randy Johnson. He said he didn't quite get all of it, but that's how strong he is.
Well, and it also helps that Randy supplies a little bit of the power at 93 miles an hour. That pitch that he hit out last night.
2-1 on Iannetta. And this ball hit hard the other way. We get one there. Davis at first, and it goes wide. Here comes Willie to the plate with the Rockies' second run on the errant throw by Stephen Drew. We've talked about it so many times on that 3-6-1 double play. It is one of the more difficult plays for a shortstop to try to hit that moving target.
It's very, very difficult because the pitcher is taught as he's starting to go over there. Now he tries to break it down a little bit so he can make sure he tries and tags the bag. And Chad Tracy over at first makes the feed to Stephen Drew. But let's give a little bit of credit to Matt Holliday also being right on top of Stephen Drew. The Hyundai Cam. Matt sticks his right leg out and almost clips Stephen Drew's right foot. I know as a former middle infielder, that wasn't a good feeling when that guy's coming in like that and he's trying to flip you. And now you have to try to make the throw to a guy that's running. It's a very, very difficult play. 9th error of the season now for Stephen Drew.
Jeff Baker had a bunt single last night. And that's chopped foul. Baker also had a bunt single in Milwaukee when he noticed Russell Branyan playing deep. Said he would do it from time to time at Clemson.
Well, sometimes when you're not swinging the bat all that well, you figure out, you know what, this might be my best way to try to get on base. And when you lay down a bunt that focuses you on that pitch, sometimes that's what you need to break out of a slump.
And he also alluded to the fact that in yesterday's ball game, at the time, it was 4-2. And so you can't hit a 2-run home run with nobody on in front of him. Get on base. You got powerful guys behind you, Brad Hott, Tulowitzki.
That's just smart baseball.
Yeah. Now later in the game, when he came up with a man on, that would be a good play naturally. You're hitting in the 5-hole for a reason. You want Baker hopefully in that situation to drive one in the gap or maybe out of the ballpark.
Yeah, even if you hit one out, still 4-3.
Yep.
Yeah, those are the things you have to think about. Maybe it rattles Randy Johnson. It didn't happen that way, but it's a smart baseball play.
3-2. And Baker, of course, was at first when Johnson got the base hit to right, and RJ kind of hobbled to first base holding his lower back. Yep. And that's something else that Jeff had filed away.
That's just learning each and every pitch during the ball game. All the little things.
Thank you.
Doug Davis checking out Chris Iannetta just in case the Rockies set him in motion to stay out of a double play.
Well, and that's where if you're Chris Iannetta, you definitely have to wait until Doug Davis goes home. He cannot get picked off.
Not going, and it's swung on and missed. So Davis strikes out Baker. Davis's last outing, really his last 2 outings, he has struggled. 7 runs and 4 1/3. Gave up 9 hits. That was to Atlanta.
And that was on top of the performance right before that against the Dodgers, where he only went 1 2/3, gave up 6 hits, 5 runs in that ball game.
Brad Hott takes a strike. 18 home runs, 61 driven in for Hott. Davis, he's been around, 227th career start tonight.
About 3 games under 500 in his career between Texas, Milwaukee, Toronto, and now here with Arizona.
Arizona under Doug Melvin, one of those teams, Huey, that comes in and defensively, their infield will shift dramatically depending on who is up. Their outfield typically plays very, very deep.
Well, we're seeing it right here. Augie Ojeda's played way over, as is Stephen Drew, right up the middle. And part of that, too, is you're pitching to, or you're playing defense to your pitcher. Doug Davis is not an overpowering guy. He's going to try to get lefties to roll over on the ball, right-handers to do the same. So you really overshift in that instance. And then as a defensive guy, you're just thinking, well, I hope they hit it in this spot. This is where the charts say they should hit it.
Three and two on Hawk. It is a 23-pitch inning thus far for Davis. And it's pretty much an even split, balls and strikes. 12 balls, 11 strikes. That's never what a pitcher's looking for.
Well, the numbers, lefties are actually hitting better than righties because lefties, you take away that changeup that Davis likes to throw.
So Ionette will be moving. And it's low. That'll bring up Tulowitzki with 2 on base. Fans feed your Rockies fever at Taco Bell if they score 7 or more tonight. And now they only need 5 since they're up 2-0. You can go to your participating Taco Bell location tomorrow between 4 and 6 in the afternoon and get 4 tacos for $1. Now that is a steal. Only 1 order per customer, please.
That was good math, by the way.
Did you like that?
I did. That was quick, right on.
You know what? I had a lot of fish lately. Feels sharp.
Now let's see if Troy can make sure that he's done what the rest of the hitters have done leading up to this and make Davis throw one over the plate. Don't get over anxious.
That's a good point. I thought Troy last night, for one of the few times since he's come back from the disabled list, fired a little quick.
Yeah, right after Willie had fired at the first pitch too, and that was one of those things that you had a little bit of momentum. 2 pitches later, you're out of the inning.
Troy hits it off the end of the bat. It's going to be an easy play for Ojeda. In the inning, the Rockies come up with a couple of runs. They had a couple of hits, a couple of walks, and also an error on Stephen Drew.
Legend has it, Rocky Mountain miners knew how to celebrate with get-togethers called banquets. Their beer, Coors, they called it banquet beer. Brewed with Rocky Mountain water and only the best high country barley for a full flavored taste. Savored by generations since 1873. Times have changed. Coors never will. Coors, the banquet beer.
This week on Rockies All Access.
He can feel the love tonight.
It's the best of Spilly TV.
That's nice. Dang it. This would be great for up in the mountains.
Toyota Rockies All Access, Thursday at 6:30.
The best sports coverage is on FSN Rocky Mountain, and we're glad to have the Rocky Mountain News as part of our team. Tracy Ringlesby.
Everything that Crosby can do, Tulowitzki's better.
Sam Adams.
I think tomorrow night's a very important night for Jeff Francis to kind of set the tone.
Dave Krieger.
We saw John as very human, and we saw Patrick as almost a deity.
The coverage you've come to expect from your regional sports leader. The best sports coverage is on FSN Rocky Mountain.
The Broncos are back on the gridiron. Big hits. Big plays. Preparing for the start of another big season. Cowboys, Broncos, Sunday at 3.
But the height is everything. It's not just getting it away. Good start.
Well, we'll hear from Bob Apodaca throughout the evening, the Rockies pitching coach, and he had to like what he saw from Jeff Francis in inning number 1. Back with Jeff Houston, I'm Drew Goodman. It'll be big Adam Dunn to face Francis. And Dunn takes a strike. Adam last night in his Arizona debut was on base with a double, with a walk. And he also struck out a couple times, actually walked twice. So he was on 3 times last night. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Let's get back to Bob's point just a second ago. There's 11 pitches to get through that first inning. When you think about it, with 0 runs, Jeff this year has allowed 19 runs in the first inning. That's been part of his problem, falling behind the 8 ball right away.
Yeah, when he gets out of the first inning without any damage, typically he has a good ball game. 2-1 on Dunn. Did he get in his kitchen or what? He beat him on the inner half with a fastball, chewed up that bat. 1 out. Let's get it down now to Alana Rizzo with tonight's Great Colorado Payback Sideline Report. Good afternoon, good evening, Alana.
Good evening, Drew. Nice to talk with you. I wanted to talk a little bit about the USA baseball team. The baseball portion of the 2008 Olympics started today, and 3 players in the Rockies organization are in Beijing. Jason Nix, Dexter Fowler, and Casey Weathers. And in that game, the first game against Korea, Jason Nix was 1 for 5 with a run-scoring double, and Dexter Fowler was in the game as a pinch runner, was able to score a run. Casey Weathers did not pitch today. They do play again this evening against the Netherlands. They did lose the game against Korea 8-7. Drew, back upstairs.
All right, Mark Reynolds on a 1-0 pitch delivers a double to left center field for the first hit for Arizona, and that'll bring up Chad Tracy. I wish the United States baseball team over in Beijing all the best. Jason Nix hit 3rd in the lineup against Korea. Yep. Here's the Toyota Defenders tonight for the Rockies. Holiday, Taveras, Hawk, Stewart, Tulowitzki, Barmes, and Baker. Again, Garrett Atkins is not even at the ballpark again tonight as he battles strep throat. And you know Garrett's sick if he's not here because he plays every single day until yesterday. And it's still the case. He's played more games than any other Rocky this year, more plate appearances, etc.
Even when he had to miss a few games with that back injury he had earlier in the year, but he has not been able to eat any food for a day and a half now. We want to make sure that he gets healthy and doesn't get anybody else sick. He is supposed to fly out with the team tomorrow after the ball game.
And Jeff Francis steps off the bat.
And that's because Mark Reynolds out there at second base was dancing around just a little bit.
And Tracy had a breakout game yesterday. He came into the ballpark prior to yesterday's game 3 for his previous 26. Then he goes 3 for 5, including that 2-run home run. He has always hit the Rockies well. .369 in his career against Colorado in 55 games with 14 home runs. The lineup has hit Jeff Francis well. Reynolds at .467, Tracy at .462. And the funny thing about that, it's not funny to Jeff, I know, but coming into this year, you see all those gaudy offensive numbers, yet Francis was 7-2 with a .354 ERA coming into 08. Now this year, he's had a rough time with Arizona. He is 0-3 with an ERA above 11.
And not many strikeouts, not many walks either. They just pounded the ball. A lot of those were early, though. This is his first start in over 3 months facing the D-backs.
Here's the 0-2, looping curveball. See you later. And he started that out behind Chad Tracy, came all the way around and dotted the inside corner.
Did you see Tracy tried to turn into this pitch? Like, okay, I'm going to try to wear it. Nope. That actually hit the inside part of the strike zone from the Hyundai cam. There's a big old 12-6 looper. Start behind him, go in there. Frame job from Chris Iannetta. That was just, he just totally fooled Chad Tracy. And he was just going to hope that that hit him or the umpire called it a ball. Jeff Kellogg.
Here's Chris Snyder. Snyder yesterday ended up with a game-winning RBI, a double over Willie Taveras' head. To give the Diamondbacks a 3-2 lead. They'd win the ball game 4-2.
Snyder's one of the few guys that has trouble off lefties this year, hitting below 200, only 197.
Yeah, I saw that. That's somewhat surprising. 2-0 on Snyder, one of the bigger catchers in the game, 6'4", about 230.
I think he might be a little bit more than 230. He's standing next to him. That might be when he signed.
When he signed,
yeah.
Right. Forgot about all the additional weight you put on after you signed. South of the knees, 3-0. Augie Ojeda is on deck.
Well, I wouldn't just lay a BP fastball in there. You got to make sure you put a little location on this too. I could see Bob Melvin turning Snyder loose.
He located that. Yeah, sure.
He was getting ready to fire at that if Jeff hadn't put it on the outside part of the plate.
Rockies up 2-0. Top of the second inning, the 3-1 is away. It was a changeup. So that'll push Snyder to first base. 2 on, 2 outs, and switch hitter Augie Ojeda will come up.
And Augie hit last night. The second hole tonight is in the 8th.
Wells Fargo customers, visit wellsfargo.com/Rockies for 2-for-1 Wells Fargo club level seats. Diamondbacks had lost 4 in a row. Brandon Webb won on Sunday against Atlanta. And Randy Johnson followed it up last night with his 294th career victory.
Augie Ojeda, I mentioned a much better hitter from the left side, at least statistically speaking, than the right side because he gets more at-bats over there. The right side is his natural position, though, the one he grew up swinging from.
You hear sometimes switch hitters who are naturally righties, and most switch hitters are natural right-handers, because if you already bat left-handed, there's not, you know, a large impetus, or, you know, to go to the right side. You know. Hear those guys all the time say, you know what, power-wise, I'm a little more right-handed, but later on, with all the at-bats you get lefty, they usually swing the bat better from that side. Good job by Francis to work out of a mini situation. 2-0, Colorado.
Watch this. Hey, Sling Dog, yo!
Looking for a quick lunch?
How about Chili's? Welcome to Chili's.
Pepper in a quick break with Chili's Bottomless Express Lunch. Dig into our famous house-made chips and salsa. Enjoy our hot, tasty soups like chicken enchilada and choice of Caesar or house salad with unlimited refills. When you're starved for time, it's the perfect meal. Chili's, pepper in some express lunch. Pepper in some fun.
It's on everybody's mind these days. So trade up to better fuel economy now at the Chevy Model Year-End event. Trade up to Cobalt XFE with better standard highway fuel economy than Corolla and Civic. Get $1,500 total purchase cash on most 2008 Chevy Cobalt models. Chevy, made for Colorado.
Man, Rihanna's so
talented.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she's pretty hot too.
Yeah, we got stuff that lets you play her music, and after you study, of course. Oh, cool.
It's Back to School 101 at Circuit City with the coolest gear for class. Save $230 on this HP Pavilion and get a free printer, router, and laptop bag for just $549.99 after mail-in rebates. Plus, get a free PC checkup no matter where you bought it. Circuit City.
Hey, Drew Goodman here from my friends at AMCO. If your car is making strange noises, take it to the experts at AMCO. They'll fix it right for less and back it with their nationwide warranty. Whether it's your transmission, engine, or even your brakes, you've got a guy for all your car care needs.
And the fastball down and away, set that one up right there. That's what we're going to try to do. Get back to command first and foremost on his arm side, down. Keep after him and try to do it more to first base, you know? Because now it's all about foot speed, beating somebody.
Back live, Ian Stewart to lead off against Doug Davis. Bob Apodaca was visiting with Troy Tulowitzki.
And we were just talking about it in between the break, how we liked how Willie tried to push that ball to the first base side, and that's what set up that whole inning. Well, what Bob was telling Troy, keep after him to continue to do that, especially with the lefty out on the hill. I mean, then it becomes just a foot race. Who can beat who to the bag? And I guarantee you, Willie's going to beat every single pitcher to the bag.
2-0 on Ian. High in the air, deep right field, way back. Ian Stewart with his 7th home run of the year. Lefty just can't get him out.
Oh, no, we saw it the other day, how he took lefty deep in that ball game. Today he takes Doug Davis deep. You fall behind in the count, you have to come in with the fastball. And man, oh man, Ian Stewart just turns on this. A Hyundai Cam 4-seamer. You couldn't put it on a tee much better than that, but then kudos to Ian for doing some damage with it. I mean, he just walloped this ball. Adam Dunn tried to play it off like he might have a play on that. That was only to protect the pitcher just a little bit.
He's hitting .480 now against left-handed pitching. 3-0 Colorado. Here's Jeff Francis. Here's the 1-1 to Jeff. On the ground to Stephen Drew. 1 out. Bob Apodaca loves to talk pitching. He likes when his pitchers get some offensive help, though.
That's why they call him Beef.
Strong kid.
Wow. How about the bat speed through the zone there? That's what impresses me most about Ian. The ability to get from point A to point B in a hurry.
Barman still hasn't seen a strike tonight. 4-pitch walk in the bottom of the first, and now ball 1. Rockies have hit a home run in 8 straight. Unfortunately, that hasn't correlated to a lot of wins. Just 2 and 6 on this homestand.
Once again, the Rockies hitters are making Doug Davis throw strikes. I mean, Clint could easily gone up there and started swinging at the first pitch.
It's 3-0, 7 out of the zone against Barmas. He's pitching to him like he's Joe DiMaggio.
Babe Ruth.
Now Barmas sees one. Barmas a .360 average on this homestand. Good swing.
Wow. Right on that fastball.
You know, with that RBI for Stewart in the home run, he's got 22 RBIs since July 19th when he was brought back to the big leagues, which is 3rd in the National League behind Albert Pujols.
He's a pretty good player.
And Carlos Lee.
So is Lee.
Lee's going to be out for about 6 weeks. Maybe through the end of the season, we'll see.
Depending on where they are, and most likely they're going to be way behind everybody. They'll just shut him down for the rest of the year. 2 fastballs in a row. You got to be careful of the changeup now. If you're Clint Barmas.
He went with the heater, and he struck out Barmas. Let's take a look at our Geico quote of the day. Clint Hurdle on Ian Stewart winning the National League Rookie of the Month award in July. It's always nice for our guys to get attention beyond the region. It's not always easy based on where we play and the time we play. Clint went on to talk about how it's good to get that national recognition. Willie Taveras with a bunt single his first time up.
Do it again. I mean, even if the first and third baseman are in like this, Augie Ojeda's playing very, very deep at second base. You push it right towards him, and then it becomes a foot race.
Pop up in the direction of Augie Ojeda and Chad Tracy. Tracy will handle it. In the inning, Ian Stewart takes Doug Davis deep. 7th homer of the year for Stewart. Rockies up 3-0 as we go to the third.
What your engine feels, you feel. And when it's running clean, you feel it. That's why Pennzoil Motor Oil is specially formulated with active cleansing agents to clean out up to 15% of sludge in the first oil change. And a cleaner engine just feels better. So change with Pennzoil and feel the clean. Not just oil, Pennzoil.
It's Toyota's National Clearance Event. The perfect time for amazing deals and selection. Now get the best-selling car in America, the 09 Camry for $199 a month. Or get $500 cash back on the 08 RAV4. Get the 2008 Motor Trend Truck of the Year, the Toyota Tundra, with $5,000 cash back. Or get 0% APR for 60 months, plus $1,000 bonus cash. So don't miss this
Colorado Rockies baseball on FSN is brought to you by Wells Fargo. Get an exclusive 2-for-1 Rocky Mountain Super Pass to Copper and Winter Park when you open a new college combo at your local Wells Fargo. Jeff Francis to face Doug Davis. Davis leading off the third, and he takes strike one. Rockies up 3-0. The 0-1 is just below the knees, 1-1. Drew Goodman upstairs with Jeff Hewson. Alana Rizzo's downstairs. We're joined by the familiar face, speaking of college, Mike Bone, the athletic director at the University of Colorado. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. It's awesome to be with you guys.
Well, you got a lot of things cooking and starting to heat up. Before we talk about football and basketball and everything else, I want to talk about the Olympics, because you have 6 Olympians in Beijing that are affiliated with the University of Colorado.
We do, and it's really special, and it really all started with the Big 12 Track and Field Championships at the University of Colorado. On the men's side, won for the first time a conference championship in track and field in 61 years.
Wow. That's amazing, because, folks, Baylor and Texas are in the Big 12 last time I checked, and they have phenomenal track programs.
Well, A&M in Oklahoma likes to run pretty quick too. And
yeah.
My hat's off to Mark Wetmore and his athletes, and Jenny Behringer, the steeplechaser, currently owner of the American record in the 3,000 steeplechase, and Billy Nelson, and all those representatives over there. It is really special for us.
And Jenny will be running next week.
She runs Friday.
Oh, Friday. Okay. That's coming up.
It is.
A couple days away.
It is. And just watching her blog and having the opportunity to be around the president and talk about being in the opening ceremonies and how that feels to represent your country. And she's just one of the finest ambassadors we really have.
Well, that's a great thrill. Here's the 0-2. 1-2. Well, I know that Hawk took the kids out to Waterworld today. How'd practice go prior to that?
Well, I tell you what, it's just key if they got out of Waterworld having a good time. It was really funny. I was at practice actually the day before to talk to the kids, and Hawk's got the team all around him ready to go, and all of a sudden out of nowhere, water fight. And there was probably 200 water balloons coming out of all places. I'm dodging water balloons. They're all hitting Coach Hawkins, hitting their position coaches. And I thought, how great is that?
You know what? You got to keep them loose. This is in the air to left field. Holiday will have a play.
And we had Coach Hawkins up here about a month or so, and his energy is just so infectious. I mean, you're just talking to him, and you got to imagine the kids just love playing for a guy like that, and the energy and the passion that he has for football is really special.
Well, there's no question. I tell you, his work ethic, along with just him as a person, he is fun to be around.
Yeah.
And he's contagious, and I think that's why we have the recruiting success that we have. And I tell you what, that incoming freshman class ranked 15th in the nation is as advertised, I can tell you that. And so our future's bright, and we recognize that we have a lot of work to do yet, but it's really going to be fun to watch these young kids play.
Here's the 1-0 to Chris Young. And that's inside 2-0. We'd be remiss if we didn't ask you about, and you have a lot of running backs that seem to be special in that freshman class, but Scott's getting a lot of attention. What have you seen so far that's impressed you?
I'll just say he's as advertised, not only as an athlete. He's really smart about that, so he's going to be a lot of fun to be around. But Ray Polk's pretty special as well in all that class. And I think the number one thing we've got going for us is the team chemistry is incredible. And whether it's a water fight or going to the water world or what they represent, they're just really fun to be around.
Willie's got this one. That inning's too quick. Can you stick with us?
Absolutely.
Good deal. Mike Bowen will be with us when we come. Francis and the Rockies up 3-0. Back in a moment.
At Southwest, just like you, we're loving life in Denver. Fly Southwest new nonstop service from Denver to Omaha or San Francisco International starting September 2nd.
You are now free to move about the country.
It's a real Cinderella story.
She comes out of nowhere, and it's like boom.
Hit after hit.
Are you at a loss for words, Josh?
What do you mean she's going to change TV forever? Well, find out.
One man wants to know the truth.
Put her in every home on the planet.
Who is Scarlett? The real Scarlett.
The evidence is staring you in the face.
Scarlett!
Things aren't always what they seem. Scarlett, the new series of TVs from LG.
Tri-Valley Towing. Bonded, insured, and fast response. 555-1900.
24 hours?
Yep.
Hi, I'm stranded on Route 80 south of the Exchange. What's the driver's name? Oh, where should they take it?
Sergeant's Motor Repair is close by. They have free loaner cars.
You're my hero, Dex.
Really? Then who's Tony?
Dex Plus, the most complete local info. Convenient and ready to go. Dex knows.
The Great Colorado Payback, reuniting you with your money. I'm State Treasurer Carrie Kennedy. To find out if you have unclaimed funds, log on to our website or call 1-800-825-2111.
Good crowd on hand tonight at Coors Field. There's a Buff fan. Mike, you see him? Sign him up.
Yeah, I actually saw more than one down there today, and it's exciting to see them wearing their Buff gear. And you know what? People are excited, and there's a great feel about not only the athletic program, but the university as a whole. I mean, we are going to have the largest freshman class in the history of the school enrolled at CU this year, and we had a record number of applications, so things are good all over campus.
Very good. And you know what? My kid, one of my kids was very excited because he just got for his birthday from Grandma and Grandpa a big CU golf bag. There's only one problem with it. Because Zach is 8, I have to carry it around when we
Bag's
play.
a little bigger.
Yeah, because it's it's an adult bag, but it's got it's got the Buff insignia.
We like communicating with Grandma. She likes when we hear from her.
Yeah,
she hears from the Buffs.
That's right, evidently.
Coach Bisdelic gave us that number and said, "Hey, we better make sure we keep you in shape."
How's Jeff doing, and how's things with the basketball program and facilities? And I know you guys are trying to raise a lot of money, get things done quickly.
We are, and I tell you, Jeff is doing a great job. And with basketball, the brand new locker room is complete. The brand new floor is installed, should be ready in the next couple. The new basketball operations center for both the men's and women's is completed. That's in place. And I tell you what, we are so honored and thrilled to have Jeff as our basketball coach. He and his staff work their tail off. And we're going to be young. It's going to take a little time. He may start 3 freshmen, 2 sophomores this year. And but he does it the right way and with an incredible work ethic. I tell you, I think Dan and Jeff both have a competition of who works the hardest, and it's tough to keep up with those guys. And
this is an easy play for Mark Reynolds. He'll throw out Chris Ionnet at 2 outs. In terms of raising money, I know you want to get that practice facility done for basketball. Where are you? And I know you're always soliciting for funds. You're very good at that as part of what an AD does, quite honestly.
Well, I appreciate the opportunity to talk a little bit about that, but we will break ground on the basketball practice facility this upcoming summer, and then it'll be ready the following February, which is huge for both men's and women's basketball and also volleyball. And we are continuing to raise money. We raised a record number of dollars for an institution as a whole last year, roughly $162 million as an entire university, which is outstanding. And our donors are the ones that are making the floors, the locker rooms, and things like that happen. And yes, we do have things on the list yet to pull together for not only football, but women's soccer with their new locker room that we've put in, and all the different things that we're doing, whether it's track and field or football or men's basketball. And so obviously our Buff Club members and our donors are doing a great job, and we continue to look for them, and we look forward to hearing from them when they call. It's a good thing for us.
Well, we're excited because we obviously have a lot to do with televising basketball and other sports at the University of Colorado. And Mike, you are very much like Dan, very much like Mike. You're never short of energy, and that's important in your job. You're doing a great job.
Well, we appreciate the opportunity. FSN is huge for us, and go Buffs.
There you go.
There you go. Good luck, Mike.
Thank you.
That's Mike Bohn, athletic director at the University of Colorado. Rockies up 3-0.
Hey everybody, Tom Howell alongside Tim Ring on the set of FSN Live. And Tim, as you know, Brett Favre is on the cover of Madden Football in a Packers uniform, but they're going to take care of that. They're going to give you a printout that you can put in the cover now of him in a Jets uni.
Madden?
It's a digital video game. All the kids are playing it.
You know that if you put him in that Jet uniform and you print out that picture and you slide it in, it activates the curse.
I digress. I think the curse has already happened. It had been irreparable damage to the Packers.
I don't care what you think.
Man, Rihanna's so
Talented?
Absolutely.
Yeah, she's pretty hot too.
Yeah, we got stuff that lets you play her music, and after you study, of course. Oh, cool.
It's Back to School 101 at Circuit City with the coolest gear for class. Save $230 on this HP Pavilion and get a free printer, router, and laptop bag for just $549.99 after mail-in rebates. Plus, get a free PC checkup no matter where you bought it. Circuit City.
Diddy, as CEO, we need a campaign to tell people BK is open late.
Tell them Diddy said BK is open late.
That's it? I could have thought of that.
A full late-night menu featuring a Whopper and fries, open till 2 a.m. or later.
Baseball coverage brought to you by LG and HD. LG, life's good.
Well, to miss on arm side.
That was middle.
That was middle?
It was a little higher than
okay. But did you want to go up or did you want to go or here?
I mean, I wanted to go up and inner.
Okay.
Over the plate.
Okay. So, but we still missed towards our arm side. So we just had I mean, every pitch up until that one has been right on the mouth.
1-0 on Connor Jackson. And Jeff has been right on the money. Huey, earlier, Apodaca was talking about, and he was talking to Clint Hurdle about this. He said, we want to focus tonight on Jeff getting his fastball command arm side, which to a right-handed batter is the outside corner.
Right, because if you make a mistake and it's away, then you're okay. You're not going to get hurt. And sometimes Jeff has a tendency, if he does get hurt, especially against this lineup, and the way we talked about their ability to hit lefties, if you make a mistake you leave it over the middle part of the plate, it gets hit a long ways. And Jeff tonight has had the ability to work to his arm side and put the ball wherever he wants. When that was to his arm side, just left it out a little bit.
And why don't you explain again, arm side, glove side? It has to do with the pitcher's perspective.
Right, exactly. And obviously, a right-handers are different than a left-hander, but arm side for Jeff's the outside part of the plate.
And that one cut back a little bit over the heart of the plate. Connor Jackson just loves hitting against Jeff Francis. He has 4 home runs in his career against Jeff and an average close to 400. So a leadoff single for Jackson as we check in again with Alana Rizzo. Alana?
Thanks very much, Drew.
Hold on 1 sec, Alana. I didn't mean to interrupt, but I had to. You had to just be thrilled that Mike Bowen was up here.
I was talking to Mike Fox, our producer, and I was like, "Oh, the biggest Buff fan is in the stadium right now. That would be me. I cannot wait to the Rocky Mountain Showdown."
Well, you're an alum of the University of Colorado.
2 times.
Line drive, caught, and they're going to get a double play out of this. I'm sorry, Alana, we keep interrupting you.
That's okay. That's all right. As long as the Rockies are doing well, you can interrupt me as many times as you want to. I wanted to talk about the Excel Energy fun fact, and that has to do with Connor Jackson. He already has a very successful Major League Baseball career, but he could have gone a completely different way. Connor's dad, actually, John Jackson, is a pretty big actor. He was in a couple of big movies, A Few Good Men and A Perfect World, and he was also the Admiral in the CBS series Jag all the way back since 1996. And Connor actually took a lot of acting classes. In fact, at Cal, he majored in theater and performing studies, and he went on a few auditions when he was younger, but decided the Major League Baseball route was a much more lucrative way to go. He left the acting up to his dad, who, by the way, did not encourage him to be an actor. That's the Excel Energy fun fact. And go Buffs. Drew, back to you.
So you know what? In the interest of equal time, we have to wish the Rams well.
Yes.
As well, and the Cowboys.
We are equal opportunity, correct?
Yes, and the Cowboys up in Laramie under Joe Glenn. Hey, 1-1 right now on Mark Reynolds, who doubled his first time up, and he gets the off-speed delivery. He's out front, 1-2.
I'm going to go back to that Adam Dunn play for a second. What great positioning from Mike Gallego and the rest of the coaching staff. When they set that play up, Troy Tulowitzki was on the second base side of second base. Adam Dunn hit it right to him. That allowed them to double up Connor Jackson at first base. One more look at that double play, what I was talking about. Notice where Troy is right up the middle. This only comes from your advanced scouting and pitching to your strength. And then you're able to get that double play. Now, I will have to say this. I'm not quite sure what Connor Jackson was thinking. As a base runner, you have to know where the infielders and the outfielders are.
This is in the air to right field. Easy play for Brad Hopp. You answered the question. I was just going to ask you, what was Connor Jackson thinking? Because you do have to know where everybody's aligned. Good inning for Jeff Francis. Rockies up 3-0, middle of 4.
When this shoe store added Aflac to its employee benefits package at no direct cost to the company, it was a perfect fit. Find out more at forbusiness.com.
Hi, Drew Goodman for Shortline Subaru. If you're in the midst of looking for a new car, listen to this. Head on down to Shortline Subaru, ranked one of the top 10 Subaru dealers in the nation. They're not your typical car guys, and I promise you, you'll notice what I'm talking about as soon as you walk through the doors.
Sunday nights are now television's biggest night with 4 great shows in a row. The Summer Sports Block. Every Sunday night at 7 on FSN.
FSN rounds the bases with Rockies Weekly. At home or on the road, FSN has the week's big stories surrounding Rockies baseball. Rockies Weekly, Sunday night at 10:30 on FSN Rocky Mountain.
College football is back. The season kicks off with a special Thursday matchup as Wake Forest takes on Baylor.
What a grab! He's at the 50, the 40.
Then on Saturday, the action continues as Big 12 power Oklahoma State heads west to battle it out with Washington State.
Touchdown!
A great slate of college football begins with a special Thursday game, August 28th on FSN.
The Broncos are back on the gridiron. Big hits, big plays, preparing for the start of another big season. Cowboys, Broncos, Sunday at 3.
Three 3-0 Colorado. Let's take a look at our Aflac trivia question on a Wednesday night at the ballpark. And who are the 4 players to win an Olympic gold medal and a World Series title? So, apropos question for middle August of 2008 with the games going in Beijing. Curveball to Brad Hopp is inside.
Boy, that's a tough question.
2-0.
Susan Strand come up with that.
Ben Sheets won a gold medal. But he's not won a World Series title. You got to start thinking of that team that Tommy Lasorda managed. Doug's looking at Huey. Huey's looking at Doug.
No, he just kind of gave me a little bit of a hint,
between the two of them.
Well, actually, this was Doug's.
Oh, is this Doug's question?
Yeah. So I'm not getting the information from him. He's not telling me who the players are. He did give a little bit of a hint, though.
Doug, am I right? Think of the team that Lasorda had.
Maybe they didn't play for the U.S.
Oh.
See?
Yeah, you know what? I never thought of that. This ball's hammered high and deep right field. A lot of top spin. It's going to go off the wall. Hop dig it for second. And he's in with a stand-up double, leading off the 4th inning.
Well, it did have too much top spin to get out, but this ball was rocketed right off the bat of Brad Hop. 3-1 count once again. Doug Davis falling behind. And boy, you leave that pitch up at 83, 84 miles an hour, it's going to get shellacked, and that's exactly what Brad Hop did to that ball. The only thing Adam Dunn could do is wait till it came off there and rattled around just a little bit, pick it up and get it in. Boy, I like the right idea though.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's playing the game of baseball, trying to get that runner over there. And you know Doug Davis is going to throw something down and away from you a little bit to get you, and slower, to try to get you to roll over on this ball. And now you just take the push bunt and try to go that way. The only problem is Troy just tried to be a little bit too fine with it.
And Troy trying to wait to drive it the other way. Swings and misses. It's 0-2.
Now you just have to go back to battling. You're 0-2. You can't be as concerned about trying to hit the ball to the right side now. They run that fastball up. It's about the 3rd or 4th time Doug Davis has done that little inside move at second base. Brad Hop's not going anywhere, but that distracts from your ability to throw the pitch.
If your windshield is chipped or cracked, don't wait. Call Colorado's #1 team, Elite Safelite Auto Glass, 303-287-5000, or visit safelite.com. Rockies up 3-0. Leadoff double for Brad Hop. It's 1-2 on Troy Tulowitzki, hitting out of the 7th spot. And a line drive led by Drew, and a good read by Brad Hop.
It's a difference right there, but what Connor Jackson did last inning at first base and what Brad Hop did at second base. This ball was hit right on the line, but before this play happened, Brad looked back. He saw where the shortstop, where every infielder is. As a base runner, that's what you have to do. You check your outfielders, then you come back and you check your infielders. Well, Brad knew that Stephen Drew was right there. Connor Jackson had no idea last half inning where Troy was.
Ian Stewart comes to the plate. He walloped a home run in his first look at Doug Davis. Here's our sonic good replay of the night. Davis serves, and the big swing from Ian Stewart. Hit it in the A portal in the second deck. That's a strike also after.
I just like the reaction of Doug Davis. We just saw a shot of Ian Stewart when he hit that ball. Doug Davis just kind of dropped his head and said, uh-oh, how far is that ball going to go?
Stewart's hitting .390 with runners in scoring position.
Just a maturing process as Stewart from earlier in the year to now. It's been such a big leap. He's much more quiet at the plate as far as his approach. His stride is really shortened up, just using those hands. He still has the big, powerful swing, but everything leading up to that point is much more still.
This is hit hard at Drew. He's going to throw out Stewart, and moving across to third is Brad Hopp, and that'll bring up Jeff Francis.
That ball was hit hard by Ian Stewart. It almost went through the legs of Stephen Drew, but another good base running play from Brad Hopp. Anytime as a second base, you're out at second base, that ball's hit to your left, you go ahead and go over to third base.
On the inside corner on Francis. Jeff hit a ground ball to short his first time up. Got 1 RBI this year.
Curveball that Jeff had thrown earlier in this ball game to Chad Tracy. Doug Davis did the same thing to him right there. That one that started right at his hip, dropped into the zone. And another curveball down and away.
Jeff takes a lot of pride in his hitting, and I don't think his average is indicative of the kind of hitter he's become. I mean, he's not Aaron Cook yet, but he's not bad.
Well, he's just improved in the last 3 years, and now you feel like when he goes up there, at least he has a chance to put the bat on the ball, and we've seen him drive the ball to left field. Also has 10 sacrifice bunts, so he works hard at the game offensively.
Curveball, strike 3. So Davis gives up a leadoff double to Brad Hopp. The Rockies couldn't cash it in. They do have a 3-0 lead as we move on to the 5th.
Who could that be? Oh, wow. I'm there for you, buddy. That was Brad. He really wants to vent.
We should go.
Ready to vent? Let's vent. Let's vent.
Let's vent.
Introducing the vented wide mouth can from Coors Light. It lets in air for a smooth, refreshing pour.
Is he okay?
I think we'll be venting a little longer.
Frost brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Over 800,000 Coloradans live with the constant worry of being uninsured. Thankfully, Metro Community Provider Network stands ready, acting as a safety net to provide crucial and necessary medical services. Hi, I'm Carl Mecklenburg. Join me in supporting the safety net of high-quality medical care provided to families and children who have no other means available to them.
Sponsored by Quest Diagnostics.
It's on everybody's mind these days. So trade up to better fuel economy now at the Chevy Model Year-End event with a fuel-efficient 08 Chevy. Like the Chevy Malibu, one of 8 Chevy models that offers an EPA estimated 30 mpg highway or better. And current non-GM owners and lessees get this Malibu 1LS starting at $19,550 after total purchase cash. Chevy, made for Colorado.
Colorado Rockies baseball on FSN is brought to you by the Great Colorado Payback. Log on to greatcopayback.com to find out if you have money coming back. By Pennzoil, feel the clean. By Big Brothers Big Sisters, donate your car and you'll not only get a free tow and tax break, you'll also help change a kid's life. And by Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. Clint Hurdle and the Rockies enjoying a 3-0 lead as we go to the top of the 5th inning. Chad Tracy, Chris Snyder, and Augie Ojeda to face Jeff Francis. Jeff has allowed 2 hits, a double in the second to Mark Reynolds with 1 out, and then a leadoff single to Connor Jackson last inning. He was erased on a line drive double play off the bat of Adam Dunn. Tracy hits one to right center field very deep. This one is going to leave the ballpark. So Tracy, with his 8th home run of the year, his 2nd in as many nights, and his 15th career home run against Colorado.
Well, Tracy had been struggling coming into this series, and it goes 3 for 5 last night. It could another home run again tonight. First pitch, and almost the same location that Ubaldo threw the ball last night to Chad when he pulled it out. And this time, it's in the right center field gap into the bullpen. He's turned it on a little bit since they got Adam Dunn.
Funny how that works, huh?
Yes, indeed, because somebody's going to be the odd man out. So all of a sudden you think, well, wait a second, I better start doing something, or otherwise it's going to be me.
Well, you know what? I've always been a big fan of Tracy's. I think he is a real professional hitter, a guy that, when healthy, and he's battled some injuries, knee situation into this year, stemming from last year, but when healthy, he's a good hitter. He hits good pitching, too.
Well, and he provides that guy from the left side of the plate.
You know what I mean by that also. There's some hitters that, they make a living on the number 5 guys.
Well, yeah, or when the score's 10-2, they'll pad their numbers that way when the game's not on the line or doesn't mean anything. It's still a 3-0 ball game early. He brings his ball club back to a couple runs. Yeah, they don't hit the number 1, 2, 3 guys. They'll feast on the 4 and 5.
Comebacker off the bat of Chris Snyder, 1 out. Augie Ojeda coming up, and let's check in again with Alana.
Yeah, Drew, you mentioned that Chad Tracy is, getting back to form. I asked him earlier today what it was like for him after being injured at the beginning of the season to kind of have to claw his way back into the lineup. He said, you know what, it feels so good to be healthy. He said, the fact that I'm healthy, it means I can do anything and produce the numbers that I'm used to producing and really contribute and help this team, as you see that he just did with that home run. He said, all we can do is get through the rest of the season. Who knows what's going to happen if we make it to the postseason. But in the offseason, I want to get back to exactly where I was last year. But when I'm healthy, I can do anything. Drew?
He's a good player.
Well, and health is so important. I mean, he had knee problems, so you think about trying to pivot and drive off your legs, and that's where all your power comes from. Difficult to do.
Augie Ojeda's gone, 2 outs, and that'll bring up Doug Davis to answer our Affleck trivia question.
Affleck!
This is a good question. Who are the 4 players to win an Olympic gold medal and a World Series title? And so I immediately started thinking Team USA.
Yeah.
That was one of my mistakes. Orlando Hernandez, Jose Contreras with Cuba. Pat Borders, Doug Minkiewicz with the United States.
Yes, that got me. There's a couple guys in tonight's ball game, though. Augie Ojeda in '96, he won the bronze with the USA. And of course, John Roush won the gold in 2000.
1 ball and 1 strike on Davis. Word is the Arizona Republic first reported this earlier today, and there have been some confirmations out of Cincinnati that one of the players going to Cincinnati in the Adam Dunn trade is Micah Owings.
How about that? I saw that too. I was a little shocked that they would give up Owings and the other kid that they gave up.
Dallas Buck.
Yes.
Who was a phenomenal pitcher, particularly as a sophomore at Oregon State, just coming off Tommy John surgery. Davis hits the ball to Stewart. Fire across the diamond. So Micah Owings apparently is one of the players headed to Cincinnati in that Dunn deal. 3-1 Colorado.
This week on Rockies All Access.
He can feel the love tonight.
It's the best of Spilly TV.
That's nice. Dang it. This would be great for up in the mountains.
Toyota Rockies All Access. Thursday at 6:30.
The Lincoln launch event ends in 4. Time is counting down to lease a Lincoln MKZ for $339 a month during the Lincoln launch.
Here at this modern-day watering hole, this urban Serengeti, it's man meets reptile.
So, Lucy, what are you doing?
Just a little online shopping.
You should check out Geico.com, get a free rate quote. If you like what you see, you can buy it online, over the phone, or at your local Geico office.
Cool.
Remarkable. Oh, no. Help! Did you hear something?
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
to be together. I doubt that life could get any better.
What are you going to miss when you have an allergy attack? Benadryl is more effective than the leading allergy medicine at relieving your worst symptoms, like runny nose, sneezing, and watery eyes, and works when you need it most. Benadryl, you can't pause life.
I haven't seen no one BP fast with them.
No, I think a lot of...
what I'm talking about? I mean, you expected something hard and then you throw like BP fast. I mean,
what's been the lowest fastball speed you've seen?
87.
Probably his four-seamer still. You know, four-seamer 81. Well, I'm sure he's throwing some two-seamers.
Yeah, but you see what I'm saying? Like, it's not like it's 78
right, he's letting it go.
To 84.
Right.
I mean, it's no different.
Right. Yeah, he's letting it go.
Interesting conversation on the bench. Bob Apodaca
with
your Torrealba getting another catcher's perspective, a guy who knows Jeff exceptionally well.
Well, and that's what you want, to be able to have all the information.
Left field and deep off the bat of Barmes. Did he get it? You bet he did. Clint Barmes with his 6th big fly of the year. And the Rockies have a 3-run lead again.
Clint said, you know what, I'm not going to wait around this time. He walked him. Doug Davis would walk Clint his first time up, fell behind his second AB. This time he hops right on the first pitch that he sees from Doug Davis. And he does not even wait to pass go. He just hits his ball, and he knew as soon as he hit it. It just continues a trend of what he's been able to do when he leads off an inning. Hitting .416 on the year. From the side, this is just a pretty swing. Little short stride, and that gets everything going. And then just use those hips and those hands to power the ball. Monday Cam, one more look at it. Right on the sweet spot. The extension, the follow through. Man, oh man, doesn't get any better than that. What a good feeling for a hitter, too.
2-0 on Willie, and he takes the strike. A lot of times with Willie up, you'll see both corners really inching in. Now the third baseman's coming in Reynolds, but Chad Tracy is really pretty deep still. That goes under the hand of Reynolds. It's do or die. You either pick it clean as he did last night. Reynolds picked one clean with his bare hand, and he has great arm strength, and he threw out Willie. That time he could base hit.
Yeah, and last night's was actually a better bunt than this one was tonight. And he made the play last night on the bare hand, threw him out by a step. Tonight the bunt wasn't as good, but that's where the human element comes into play. And this ball is bouncing. It's not an easy play as a third baseman. You're coming in, it's bouncing. You're trying to look it into your hand and also think, man, this guy can fly going down the line. He didn't get anything, any part of his hand on that ball.
Well, Willie has been sitting on 51 bags for a while. He came home from Florida with 50 stolen bases, just one so far in the homestand. It's kind of mirrored what the Rockies have done overall. 2-6 on this homestand.
And Doug Davis, he's a tough guy to steal against, though. Very slow at times coming up, and other times he's quick to the plate. Willie's doing the right thing, though. He's getting out there right now so he can make sure he's got his maximum lead when Davis still has not come set yet.
Ball and a strike on Holiday. Matt, an RBI single in the first, drove in his 70th run of the season. Lang popped to second in the third.
Doug Davis better not divert too much of his attention to the guy over at first base. Otherwise, Matt's going to do damage.
Well, he missed this one, got under it a smidgen. Center field, Chris Young.
Hey, Rockies fans, I know all of you out there know it's back to school time, and your Colorado Rockies dugout stores have everything your family needs to head back to school in style. Come check out our new updated, authentic collection items exclusively at your local dugout store. Call 303-832-TEAM for more information.
Chris Iannetta, board on a fielder's choice, and also a ground out to third.
All right, got my stopwatch out. I'm ready to go. See how quick he is to the plate. What do you think, Drew?
1-2-5.
Pretty good call. I'm going to go a little bit under that. I'm going to go 1-1-8.
There he goes. He got a huge jump. They got no shot. I mean, no shot. Stolen base number 52 for Willy Taveras.
And that's just from the reads he got earlier in this inning. You think about the times he was able to look at Doug Davis when Matt was up to the plate, and now Chris Iannetta is up there. He got the read, only one away from EY now.
And he also has the 5th best percentage ever of somebody with 50 stolen bases or more.
And that's the thing that impresses me. It's the percentage of steals.
Max Carey back in 1922 at 51 of 53. That's the best percentage ever of 50-plus stolen base players. 96.2%. Jerry Mumphrey in 1980, 52 of 57. Barry Larkin in 95 went 51 of 56. Tim Raines, Rock Raines, 50 of 55.
Yeah, one of my former teammates.
Yep, one of your guys in 87 with the Expos. And then Willie, he just moved ahead of a former Rocky, albeit briefly, Tony Womack, who in 97 went 60 of 67.
You better be careful. He might take third on him, too.
And that, and you know this is a big base stealer, that's easier to do against a lefty.
Oh, yeah.
First.
Well, there's a blind spot for a lefty, because when he comes up and he starts to go home, if you get in that spot right behind his head where he can't see you, he doesn't know that he needs to pick it up a little bit. For a right-hander, he still has that base runner in his view. Augie Ojeda creeping a little bit closer towards second base now to keep Willie there. Well, folks, anytime you're talking about in the high 900s, even Castillo at 867, you're looking at a 75% success ratio is considered very, very good.
And those percentages that we just showed you, that's guys who've stolen some bases overall. Matt's on the list, Holiday, because he's 17 of 18. The list I was referencing are guys that have stolen at least 50 in a season.
Yeah. And those are guys you know coming to the ballpark are going to steal a base.
They're going.
They're going. Everybody, the pitcher, catcher, the bench coach, anybody that calls the signs. So to be able to do it when everybody knows you're going, that's impressive.
Chris Iannetta hanging in there, 2-2 on Davis. Doug Davis, been around a while, native of Sacramento. Former 10th round pick of the Texas Rangers. Ball 3.
If you look at pitches by inning here for Doug Davis. That first inning when he gave up a couple runs, 26, kind of cut back a little bit, especially in that third inning. Total 81 pitches, 48 strikes, 32 balls. He's cleaned that up a little bit. Brought to you by Rogate.
He had 1, 2, 3 inning. That was in the third. Reynolds threw low.
He thought there was 3 outs.
He was going to the dugout. Willie's at third. And Mark's got to come back because they're going to play 3 outs this inning, Mark.
Well, and the other thing you wonder, I got to see where he caught this ball. He might have caught it in a little bit in front of Willie. Willie takes off, though. If I'm a third baseman, I'm going to try to get the fast guy. He's not even in the picture there. If you stop, you might be able to get Willie, and then you would have Chris over at first base. One more look at it. He can stop right there and tag Willie. What he did, he made that throw and took about 3 steps to the dugout thinking there was 3 outs.
Managers are never pleased at that.
No, not at all. And don't think when he gets back to the dugout, somebody like Tony Clark, the veteran guy, might remind him as well.
Oh, 0-1 on Jeff Baker. Inside on Bake. Told me before the game, he said despite the fact that there's not a lot to show for it the last week and a half, he feels great at the plate.
And good for him. I mean, he's the guy that's going to know what's going on. Yeah, he's looking at his average saying, I haven't gotten many hits lately. But as long as you're seeing the ball, you feel good at the plate, and that's half the battle. Now, whether you hit it or not, I mean, that also is very frustrating. But it's one thing to be not getting any hits and also not feeling good at the plate. That's a whole different animal.
He had a good swing there. It's 2-2. Tonight's game is sponsored by Fidelity Investments. Visit a representative today in Denver, Broomfield, or Lone Tree. If it's too late tonight, go tomorrow.
Might be a little late tonight.
Getting on the, yeah, probably. Three and 2.
Well, the other thing now with Mark Reynolds not making that tag at Willie at third, it limits you a little bit as a pitcher and a catcher. Maybe a little bit more concerned about burying that pitch. Gets away, then runner will score. Oh, man. He's had, you know, that's when things are just off, though, a little bit. Jeff Baker's had a couple opportunities right now to put the ball in play. The Hyundai Cam, a little cut fastball. That's what Jeff worked underneath it. And the back door of that curveball.
And he got him. In the inning, Clint Barmes hits a home run, his 6th of the year, and the Rockies have a 4-1 lead.
This ball's jacked deep left field, way back. This one for Todd. Trying to bounce out, makes a miss, dives, he's in. Touchdown, Colorado. 2-on-1 shot, he scores! And it's 1-0 Pioneers. He'll get the last shot. Got it! The Jazz win in overtime.
FSN, celebrating 20 years of sports coverage in the Rocky Mountain region.
If you missed last week's baseball report,
here's a look at what you might have missed.
The Dodgers are basically getting him for free. People are waiting to see how this guy plays in the clutch.
Tune in every week to the Baseball Report presented by Honda Motorcycles.
FSN rounds the bases with Rockies Weekly. At home or on the road, FSN has the week's big stories surrounding Rockies baseball. Rockies Weekly, Sunday night at 10:30 on FSN Rocky Mountain.
Isn't going to let you go home empty.
Top of the 6th inning, the Rockies enjoying a 4-1 lead against Arizona. Clint Hurdle joins us as he does every Wednesday night from the dugout. Jeff Francis, 4 real good innings in his first outing back, and tonight he's backed it up. He seems to be hitting that outside corner, or as you guys could say, he's hitting a glove side well tonight.
Well, he is. You know, the thing we're really working hard with all our pitchers on is establishing fastball command down and away first. He's been able to do that. He's been able to go glove side on occasion. He's mixing his changeup. He's spun a couple pretty good breaking balls. He's been able to control bat speed so far.
He shuffled the top part of your lineup tonight, inserted Clint Barmes in there. He had a walk and then also a home run, scored a couple runs. Nice move, Skip.
Well, so far so good. We just need to try something different. You know, we've got to find a way to spark this offense to get us going.
Well, you're getting traffic, Clint. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
Rockies up 4-1. Stephen Drew is going to lead it off against Jeff Francis. Jeff has allowed 1 run, the home run last inning to Chad Tracy. He's gotten Drew a couple of times, once on a bouncer to short and then a fly ball to left field, and an economy of pitches as compared to Doug Davis.
Yeah, much different there, and just the ability to work ahead in the count and then get into a couple kitchens tonight. One on Stephen Drew, the other one Adam Dunn.
Nice play by Jeff Baker, feeding Jeff Francis, and he beats Drew to the bag, 1 out. Chevy has 8 models that get an EPA estimated 30 mpg highway or better. Chevy made for Colorado.
That was a good feed from Jeff Baker. Just led Jeff Francis just enough. He catches it, steps on the bag. Something you work on during spring training. You don't do it a whole lot during the season. Those two guys just worked to perfection.
High and away on Crow. I thought
you.
It was high and away. Guess not. Excuse me. Jeff Kylock said it was a strike, and Jeff Francis will take it. It's 0-1 on Chris Young. Downstairs. Clint Hurdle, like many of us, and that would include you and me up here, big fan of the Olympic Games. And he has great respect and admiration for all the athletes over there. We have a couple of sound bites we wanted to share with you. Clint on the Olympics.
I'm a big fan of the Olympics, always have been. I was talking to somebody today in town about, since I've been a little kid, to watch athletes that have skill sets so different and so dynamic, differently dynamic than the one you might have. And for most part, I don't have anything close to Olympic type talent in any particular sport. To watch them do what they do in that venue and the way they bond together and with one common goal to try and do something that'll make the country proud, it's pretty special.
Yeah, it's real special. Chris Young walks, and that'll bring up Connor Jackson. Now, you may be wondering, because everybody has their favorite sport, especially in the summer. There's such a wide variety of sports that we get to see that oftentimes we don't see it just every 4 years. So here's Clint on his favorite sports to watch, not only in the summer, but also in the winter.
In the Summer Olympics, it's water polo and synchronized swimming. I love water polo. I love the synchronized swimming. I love it. I've got a soft, sensitive side, guys. That ice skating, when Dick Button and Scott come on and run me through the routines, I mean, are you kidding me? That's time to die for.
Now, a lot of you at home are saying, all right, Clint's got his, you're laughing, and he's got his tongue in cheek, and he doesn't like synchronized swimming. But I started pressing him on it. I said, come on, synchronized swimming? And he said, I'm not kidding you. He goes, ask Carla. We got to get Carla on the air. We need to get her on the air. We're going to have to confirm this with Carla. But he said,
I'm not sure about that.
And I enjoyed the figure skate. I mean, figure skating is a huge venue, obviously, in the Winter Olympics. Young could fly. He's going to go first to third on that base hit. But synchronized swimming caught me. It did catch me by surprise.
That one totally shocked me.
Bob Apodaca now to the mound to visit with Jeff Francis. 2 on and 1 out.
So your favorite summer?
2 on, excuse me, I should say, and 2 outs.
Your favorite summer Olympic sport?
I love the swimming.
Yeah.
I love the swimming. There's a lot of things I enjoy. I enjoyed many things in track and field, not all of them. I like the decathlon. I like the sprints. I like the 400, the 800, the hurdles.
I like the gymnastics.
There's certain things in gymnastics I love. I love the uneven bars for the women. I love the floor exercise for the women. I can't stand the balance beam.
It's scary.
It's scary. I mean, you feel like they're on the edge of a building, and you're like, they're going to fall off the building. I mean, it makes you nervous. So that's not one of my favorites. But I love floor X. I love uneven bars. I love the high bar for the men.
Ooh.
Isn't that powerful?
Yes.
Outside on Mark Reynolds. I like water polo too. Those guys beat the heck out of men and women. They beat the heck out of each other. You don't necessarily see it on top of the water, but underneath the water. I'd drown in about 30 seconds.
They need 15.
Not a strike. I thought it was in there. 2-0.
All of a sudden, Jeff Kellogg called that one strike high a couple of hitters ago, and now it's just shrunk back up. Do not throw this guy a fastball. Change him up.
And it is a base hit just past a diving Tulowitzki. So Mark Reynolds sat on that fastball and he drove it to left field, and it's a 4-2 ball game.
Well, that's what I was a little afraid of when I said don't throw him a fastball. He had in the count 2-0. Reynolds is a free swinger, a guy that can put the ball in play, but also strikes out a lot. And that ball was away from him. He goes out and hooks it past a diving Troy Tulowitzki. And that was all set up, though. Think back about Chris Young going first to third on the little soft line drive to left field. That's what speed will do for you.
And now Chad Tracy outside. Tracy, a home run to the Rockies bullpen his last time up. Yesterday he hit a home run. He's owned Rockies pitching in his career. And Francis gets him to pop it up. Shallow center. Here comes Willie, and he gets under control and makes the catch. In the inning, there were a couple of hits and a walk, another run for Arizona. It's 4-2 Colorado.
Doug?
Christy.
I thought you were taking care of your grandma this weekend.
I am. We are.
The Keystone Light?
For Grandma.
And all that?
For Grandma.
And the motorized cooler?
For Grandma.
You can't always be smooth, but your beer should be. Brewed for a smooth taste that's never bitter. Keystone Light is always smooth, even when you're not.
And the 6-foot party sub? For Grandma.
Yes. Grandma. Yeah.
Ding! You are now free to enjoy your flight.
And how little you paid for it.
Ding!
You're now free to have a frequent flyer program you can actually use.
Ding! Ding!
Ding! You are now free to find a low fare anytime you need one.
Free to sit in any seat in the cabin.
Ding!
Ding! Ding!
You are now free to enjoy flying again.
At Southwest, we're loving life in Denver. That's why you're free to fly nonstop from Denver to Fort Lauderdale, New Orleans, or Sacramento for just $89 to $129 one way.
You are now free to move about the country.
Supersonic breakfast toaster. Pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
Man. What? Why? Don't do that.
Wow. My flavorometer just went nuts.
Maybe you just turn it off or turn it down. Yeah, turn the volume down on it.
I'd be lost.
Set it to vibrate, and then that way my ears won't blow up.
Nice. Nice.
How's that?
Good.
Supersonic breakfast toaster. New at Sonic. Sausage and bacon with pepper jack cheese or ham and bacon with smoky cheddar. Try one anytime with a premium roast, iced or hot latte.
It's Toyota's National Clearance Event. The perfect time for amazing deals and selection. Now get the best-selling car in America, the 09 Camry for $199 a month. Or get $500 cash back on the 08 RAV4. Get the 2008 Motor Trend Truck of the Year, the Toyota Tundra, with $5,000 cash back. Or get 0% APR for 60 months plus $1,000 bonus cash. So don't miss this opportunity to save big at the Toyota National Clearance Event. Hurry into your Toyota dealer today.
Rockies 4, Arizona 2. Bob Apodaca went to the mound right before Mark Reynolds was to hit last inning. You may be wondering about the conversation. We'll share some of it with you.
And early, he's looking out over the plate and lower in the strike zone, okay? That's what you did early. You finished him up inside late last time. So anything soft right here is good too. Okay. So go with your best weapons right here, okay?
Yep.
Okay, ball back to you now.
Okay.
Get over on a ground ball.
Always a friendly reminder so your pitcher doesn't go to sleep.
Well, especially with a couple runners out there, you're so focused on what's happening at the plate, you would forget about that sometimes, but those gentle reminders also work well.
Doug Slate is in for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Just got activated today. Slayton had been out with a knee injury, so Arizona, in Slayton's absence, was without any left-hander in their bullpen. They sent out Billy Buckner today. So Slayton is back, and this is in the air to deep left center field. Long run, and this is off the very top of the fence by Brad Hopp. That ball just kept carrying and carrying. Honestly, off the bat, I thought it was a fly ball to left center field.
Why, and that's what strength and leverage will do for you, is you'll just get that ball away from you, and then you just drive it that way. And that's why Brad has been better this year hitting lefties, because he's been able to get those balls. Even that one was in just a little bit, but you're thinking the opposite way. And that ball just kept going and going, and right off the yellow padding from the Hyundai cam will show us how close that ball was to going out. Second double tonight.
You wonder how, when it's hitting on that angle, it didn't skip over the fence. It would have been a home run. How it didn't go out.
Well, especially from the trajectory it was going, coming down, it typically would go on the other side.
And this ball to center field, it's going to drop. Hop will stop at third. He had to see that one down and make sure Chris Young couldn't make a play on it. So Tulowitzki with a base hit. First and third against Doug Slayton. Nobody out. Ian Stewart coming up. And Alana Rizzo has a little bit more on the Arizona left-hander.
Yeah, not quite the welcome that Doug Slayton was hoping for. As you mentioned, he was activated today, but it was not as early as the Diamondbacks wanted to. After his first 2 rehab starts, Bob Melvin said, you know what, the results were just not good enough. But on Monday, he struck out the sign for AAA Tucson, and Bob Melvin said, I would consider that to be sharp. So obviously he is here back with the big club, much needed left-hander in their bullpen. However, not the results he wanted. As you mentioned, they sent Billy Buckner down to Tucson. Drew.
Here's Stewart. Thanks, Alana. That's a ball. Stewart a home run in the second and a sharp ground ball to short in the fourth.
Not sure how many managers want to go out to that bullpen without any lefties out there.
Yeah, San Diego for a long time
didn't have anybody.
But you better have righties who get lefties out, and they did. They had Otsuka, they had Linebrink setting up Hoffman. And on the plus side, that was magical for a couple seasons. This is Rosales. In the air, down the left field line. It's kind of in no man's land. Falls harmlessly. Foul. 1-2 on Ian Stewart. Windshield chipped or cracked? Don't wait. Call Colorado's #1 team, Elite Safelite Auto Glass, 303-287-5000, or visit safelight.com.
Well, even though that ball was in no man's land, both base runners did the right thing, and Brad Hopp and Troy Tulowitzki, they went back and tagged up. That ball is foul. He catches. I think Brad would have had a chance to score. The momentum, the way he was going, and Connor Jackson away from home.
You know what? That's just one of those heads-up situations, and recognizing, okay, it's not a typical deep fly ball, but it's the angle of whoever's making the play on it.
That's 3 very, very good base running plays Brad Hopp's had tonight. Even though nothing happened with that, he did the right play by going back and tagging up.
So many great numbers for Ian Stewart since his return. Share another one with you. 448 runners in scoring position. And a line drive. Here's one, and on to first. That's a good job by Ojeda. He was able to, you don't see it much, he was able to freeze Hop after receiving the throw and still complete the double play.
And it goes back to my thought process in last night, how you need to have a smart guy out at second base. Nothing Brad Hopp could do there, because you're not sure if he's going to catch you. You can't take off immediately. But Stephen Drew catches that ball, and then Augie Ojeda got the first out, realizing that Brad was not going to go, said, I still have time to throw over to first base to get the double play. He looked at third first, though.
Stewart hit it hard, but as you described, since it was in the air and taken on a short hop, Brad Hopp, now if it's a normal conventional ground ball, the infield back, he's going to go up the middle, and he's going to score that run. Diamondbacks will take 2 outs to give up a run at this stage. Now you have your pitcher up. It's 2-0. But you're hoping your pitcher could drive in a run. Otherwise, the Rockies don't get anything out of 2 on. First and third, nobody out. We're 2 for 10 tonight with runners in scoring position. It's almost as if the last week and a half or so, the Rockies have reverted back to what they were doing the first 2.5 months of the year, where they'd have a ton of people up but just couldn't get enough hits.
And that's been part of their problem all year long. It's just most of the time it's not a problem getting the guys out there. It's just getting them in. And that's why right now they are where they are as far as with runners in scoring position. 251 average. It's 11th in the league.
On the ground to Ojeda. Francis is out 4-3. Rockies get a double and a single, do not score. It's 4-2, going to the 7th.
2 most Canadians?
You got it.
Man, that's a good beer.
Lots of flavor.
Yeah, but it goes down easy.
It's from Canada. It is beautiful up there.
Well, it's like a postcard.
Good people, too.
Yeah, just good people living in that beautiful landscape, making this incredibly tasty beer.
That's poetic. Pass the peanuts?
Yeah.
With a big taste and a nice finish. Molson Canadian, an honest brew.
Hey everybody, Tom Howell alongside Tim Ring on the set of FSN Live. And Tim, as you know, Brett Favre is on the cover of Madden Football in a Packers uniform, but they're going to take care of that. They're going to give you a printout that you can put in the cover now of him in a Jets uni.
Madden?
It's a digital video game. All the kids are playing it.
You know that if you put him in that Jet uniform, you print out that picture and you slide it in, it activates the curse.
I digress. I think the curse has already happened. It had been irreparable damage to the Packers.
I don't care what you think.
Boys and Girls Clubs provide a safe place where kids can meet new friends, try new things, and grow in ways they never thought possible. I'm Mark Stout for FSN Rocky Mountain. FSN has teamed up with the Colorado Rockies to help make a difference in the lives of kids everywhere. Every day, thousands of kids benefit from the programs and opportunities available at their local Boys and Girls Clubs. Lives are changed for the better. Help make a difference in the community through the Boys and Girls Clubs, a positive place for kids.
Rockies up 4-2. They've hit a couple of home runs tonight, very nearly a third last inning. Brad Hopp hit one to the top of the fence, and Alana's over there now.
Yeah, exactly, Drew. I'm right here, right in the spot where Brad Hopp's home run hit. And there's a little bit of controversy about exactly what this pad is on. It's a very thin yellow pad that's actually attached to a bar by zip ties. There's a post that goes in between the slot where the ball actually hit, and there's a chain link fence right here. So the padding itself is actually very thin. So it bounced right off of this spot right here. Not much over here. There's also electrical outlets. Not that you guys really care about what's on the other side. But the pad's just attached to metal bars all the way across and a chain link fence.
So it hit the metal bar. That's why it shot back.
But I still don't understand where this ball and the trajectory that it was going, how it didn't bounce the other way.
See, I was listening to Alana. What it did is it compressed the pad.
I heard what she said.
And then it hit the metal bar and it shot the other way.
Thank you.
And it had to hit exactly in the right spot because the pad goes all the way around, as you can see. But there's a gap right here where the ball hit exactly to make it go the trajectory that it did.
Alana, if you don't mind, if you could go along the yellow line on that outfield wall and just prop up the pad.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
sure. I'm
right
sure
there.
that Major League Baseball really wants me to do that. But for you, Drew, I'll do anything.
Yeah, okay. Here we go. 1-1 on Chris Snyder. Augie Ojeda to follow. And then we'll get a pinch hitter, I'm sure.
Well, speaking of that, I read today that Major League Baseball is talking about implementing instant replay towards the latter part of August. Just for that reason right there, just home run balls.
And I'm all for that. Georgia's against it. What's your stand?
I'm for the home run balls.
I am too.
Not balls and strikes, whether he was safe or out.
Nowhere else.
Nowhere else, but because of the dynamics and the way fields are situated now, it's much different.
Snyder hits one of the gap in right center field, and this is off the base of the wall. Chris Snyder has himself a double.
Pitch that was up from Francis, up and out over the plate. There wasn't even a strike. But Snyder's so strong, he's able to drive it to right center field. It's off the padding of the wall. Brad just runs it down. Rick Matthews saying Manny Corpus is ready.
Jeff Francis will depart, having pitched to one batter in the 7th inning. He leaves on the plus side, up 4-2. And here's a nice round of applause, well deserved from the crowd.
I need your help. I need to be a career .320 hitter.
I need the secret to winning 3 Gold Gloves.
I need to top 300 home runs.
Consider it done.
Huh?
Consider it done.
That ball's gonna be sleeping with the fishes.
It's on everybody's mind these days. So trade up to better fuel economy now at the Chevy Model Year-End event with a fuel-efficient 08 Chevy. Like the Chevy Malibu, one of 8 Chevy models that offers an EPA-estimated 30 mpg highway or better. And current non-GM owners and lessees get this Malibu 1LS starting at $19,550 after total purchase cash. Chevy, made for Colorado.
Not too close. What do you think? I got that insurance?
What insurance is that, Yogi?
Aflac. The one you really need to have. If you don't have it, that's why you need it.
Need what?
Aflac. Well, if you get hurt and miss work, it won't hurt to miss work. And they give you cash, which is just as good as money.
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Colorado 4, Arizona 2. Leadoff double by Chris Snyder has chased Jeff Francis. Augie Ojeda will step up. Tonight's call to the bullpen is brought to you by Comcast. Warm up to unlimited local and long distance. Call 1-800-COMCAST. Manny Corpus, who leads the club in relief appearances, is on here. He's taken over the 7th inning. Of course, he started the inning, or started the year as the Rockies' 9th inning man. The slider misses away. He's been unscored upon in 20 of his last 23 outings.
Yeah, ERA at 157 because of it. Just really dipped down, and now it's back to a familiar role that we saw from Manny a lot last year in the later part of the ball game. Come in and get these tough outs now in the 7th.
Well, Augie Ojeda does his job. He moves the runner to 3rd. And that'll bring up Tony Clark. Clark will pinch hit for Doug Slate. Tonight's game sponsored by Fidelity Investments. Visit a representative today in Denver, Broomfield, or Lone Tree.
Tony Clark obviously is the guy that Bob Melvin's going to take his shot with here. The one guy with the one swing of the bat that could tie it up. 13 for 56 on the year as a pinch hitter. His career against Manny, 0 for 2.
Well, it was a nice story earlier this year, Tony being back home in San Diego. That's his hometown. Though he makes his home as an adult, he's a family man in Arizona.
Well, it worked out well for him in both sense. He got to go back and play a little bit at home in San Diego, then realized they weren't going anywhere. Did him a favor by trading him back to Arizona.
Snyder is at 3rd base.
Chris wanted 2 fastballs in, and Manny kept shaking him off, That's why he stepped back off the mound. Keep the ball inside, though. There's that one.
That evidently was too far in. It's 2-0.
And the reason I say keep it in, you don't want Tony Clark to get his arms extended. Strike zone will show it was up and in just a little bit. My apologies to Jeff Kellogg. From our angle, it looked like it was a strike.
On the ground a second. That'll get the run home. It's 4-3. That'll be charged to Jeff Francis. So the book is closed on Jeff. He goes 6+, allows 3 runs on 6 hits, walked 2, struck out 2.
That's just Tony Clark being the veteran guy. He got out and just got the ground ball, and so now you pull your ball club 4-3 with still 7 outs to work with.
Stephen Drew 0 for 3 tonight. He's got a 14-game hitting streak, and that's a strike. And this is another one of those games where Francis pitched much better than Davis. Rockies have had far more opportunities for the most part than Arizona, and yet they haven't been able to cash enough of them in. That's why they have the precarious 1-run lead.
And that's where it goes back 2 for 10, 2 for 11 with runners in scoring position for the Rockies. D-backs have not had as many opportunities, but they've been able to capitalize on the few that they have had. Boy, dandy slider. And that's a pitch he's been having a lot more success with lately, Manny, than really his fastball, his hard sinker. And that slider comes up there and then disappears. And you can get a guy that has a hitting streak as Stephen Drew to look foolish on that pitch. You know it's pretty good.
High and far and foul by about 100 feet.
Hey fans, when the Rockies are on the road and you can't watch your Colorado Rockies here on FSN Rocky Mountain, go to MLB.tv. You can log on and catch every remaining out-of-market Rockies game live or on demand. For more details and a free demonstration, visit ColoradoRockies.com, MLB.tv. Keep watching.
And this is lined to deep right. Hop going back. He's going to have to play it off the wall. Stephen Drew to second with a double. And he now has a 15-game hitting streak. Tying run at second for Chris Young.
Well, as good as Manny's slider had been earlier in this at-bat to Stephen Drew, this one was not. He hangs it, leaves it up right in the heart of the plate. Stephen Drew, and he's been swinging the bat exceptionally well, as you mentioned, Drew, with that hitting streak. Goes out and just hits it over the head of Brad Hop.
The hitting streak a career best. Young tonight 0 for 2 and a walk. Young hit down in the lineup last night. Bob Melvin put him in the 2-hole tonight because of his success against Jeff Francis, I'm sure.
And the other difference too is that the splits between how he hits from the left side against a left-handed pitcher and a right-handed pitcher. Compare that to Augie Ojeda. That's why he slid him up there to the 2 spot tonight.
Young has hit this year much better against left-handed pitching than he has right-handed pitching. 2-0 as Chris Iannetta goes out and visits. Chevy has 8 models that get an EPA estimated 30 mpg highway or better. Chevy made for Colorado. Young 208 this year against righties, 299 against lefties. drive, base hit. Matt Holliday on one hop, drew to the plate. Here's the throw. Going to be cut off. Tie baseball game. And Chris Young is hung up. Now the Rockies will try to chase him down. And Troy Tulowitzki will go and get him. 2-out rally for the Arizona Diamondbacks. They're getting the clutch hits tonight, and they've caught the Rockies here in the 7th.
I'm Tim Neverett at the Great Wall of China for FSN Live.
Only FSN Rocky Mountain can bring you one-of-a-kind reports on the country hosting the Olympic Games. The 1 in a Billion Report with Tim Neverett, only on FSN Live.
We have a code blue.
Code what?
Code blue.
Code blue. Code blue.
Divide by the total sales, you'll see how we came up with the 10%.
Code blue?
Code blue.
The cold activated bottle from Coors Light. The mountains on the label turn blue when your beer is as cold as the Rockies.
Oh, what?
Frost brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
It's so important to make someone happy. Make just one someone happy. Make just one.
The 300 horsepower Acura MDX with super handling all-wheel drive. How you see the road depends on what you're driving.
Make just one someone happy. And you.
Acura Advance.
Take advantage of attractive lease rates on the 2008 Acura MDX for well-qualified customers.
Growing a business takes time. But if you're distracted with little problems, you're not focused on the big picture. Quest provides integrated voice, data, and network solutions, giving you time back to make sure your business can reach its potential. Get Quest. Get nimble.
Coors Light freeze cam tonight. The Rockies have hit a pair of home runs. The first, Ian Stewart against Doug Davis, no doubt about it. Second deck in right field. And later on, Clint Barnes goes deep against Doug Davis. His 6th of the year. Our Coors Light Frost Brewed freeze cam. Well, unfortunately, Jeff Francis pitched well enough to get a victory. It's not going to happen. 4-4 ball game as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. And the new pitcher is Tony Pena, who can really bring it.
He can. Pena's fastball can touch 99 miles an hour, sits right at 94, 95. Also throws a hard slider.
And there's at 96 on past. A good fastball hitter in Clint Barmes. Barmes, Taveras, and Holliday.
Here comes the hard slider.
That's nasty.
That is.
I mean, that's virtually unhittable.
Well, when you throw a 96 mile an hour fastball and then you turn around, throw an 89 mile an hour slider, in the location that he does, the strike zone will show us that's down and away from a right-handed hitter. Doesn't get any better than that. Now you just hope that he leaves one up for you.
Slider, strike 3. Willie Taveras will come up. He is 2 for 3 tonight. Olana, what's cooking?
All right. Earlier, I was talking all kinds of stuff about University of Colorado, FSN Rocky Mountain, equal opportunity. So we got some Rams here. We have Ryan, Jessica, Haley, and Andrew, all CSU Rams. And Jessica is going to read tonight's copyright. Hit it, Jess.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Colorado Rockies and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Colorado Rockies and Major League Baseball.
All right, I'm going to give you guys a little hint. Jessica happens to be my niece who was afraid to tell me she was going to CSU, but we're going to go head-to-head on the Rocky Mountain Showdown. Drew, back to you.
All right, thank you very much. Congratulations to Jessica, my wife, a Colorado State alum.
I can't wait for that game.
It's always a great one. It is always a great matchup. Willie's behind 0-2. I think back on this ball game, Rockies got 2 in the first. They got a run in the second inning, retired in order in the third. They had a leadoff double in the fourth, did not score.
Yep.
Fifth inning, they got a home run from Barmas, and then Taveras singled, stole second, but they couldn't bring Willie around. Then in the sixth inning, a double by Hop, a single by Tulowitzki, first and third, nobody out, and they don't score.
And contrast that to what the D-backs did last inning. Got a runner at second, got him over, and got him in. And then you get the 2-out hit, the double by Stephen Drew, and then another 2-out hit. I mean, that's just the difference in execution.
We used to read this every week in the first half of the season, and it applies again over the last week and a half here. The Rockies hitting .206 on the homestand with runners in scoring position. And yet, did you see the note that the Rockies PR staff put out today? Colorado has had more runners on base than any team in the National League this year.
That just shows you the offensive ability, and the frustrating part for Alan Cockrell, the hitting coach, Clint Hurdle. You get the runners out there, you just don't get them in.
More at bats than any team in the National League with runners in scoring position. But their .251 average is 11th in the league.
There are 1,000 runners out there.
This season, for every RBI that Matt Holliday produces, Quest will donate $100 to Big Brothers Big Sisters. He had an RBI earlier. Now $7,000 raised. Another way Quest builds a stronger community. One for 3 tonight for Holliday. Fastball's down low.
This is going to be straight power on power. This is going to be a fun at bat to watch. Anybody can turn around a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. It's Matt Holliday. Oh my goodness.
He was right on that pitch, wasn't he?
Oh my. It was only 95, so maybe that's why he just, but fouled it straight back. That's always a key indicator for me. The guy is on a pitch. Then go off to the side, either side, or go up in the air. When he fouls it straight back over the head of the catcher.
On the corner at 97.
That doesn't think that one was a strike. He thinks that pitch was off the plate a little bit. More look at it. And I'm thinking it's off outside just a little bit, and exactly it was. It's Matt Holliday, pretty good eye.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Another one that was outside. And this is what's a little bit frustrating, not only for the pitcher and the catcher, but the hitter. Called it a strike the pitch before. That one's a ball. I mean, at least he gave it to Matt that it was a ball. Now the zone, you're not sure where it is.
Three and 2 on Holliday. Rockies led early 2-0. They added a run in the second to go up 3-0. Then it was 3-1, 4-1, 4-2, now 4-4. And it's lifted in the air to deep right field. Did not get enough of it. Adam Dunn with his back scratching the wall. 1, 2, 3, 7 for Pena. It's 4 apiece.
It's a lovely day to be together. I doubt that life could get any better.
What are you gonna miss when you have an allergy attack? Benadryl is more effective than the leading allergy medicine at relieving your worst symptoms, like runny nose, sneezing, and watery eyes, and works when you need it most. Benadryl, you can't pause life.
Life in the spotlight must be grand, but for the rest of us, times are tough. Obama voted to raise taxes on people making just $42,000. He promises more taxes on small business, seniors, your life savings, your family. Painful taxes, hard choices for your budget, not ready to lead. That's the real Obama.
I'm John McCain, and I approve this message.
The Lincoln launch event ends in 4. You got it. 2. We see the 1 now. Time is counting down to buy a Lincoln MKX or Navigator with 0% financing for 72 months, only during the Lincoln launch.
The Cardiac and Vascular Institute at Exemplis St. Joseph Hospital provides comprehensive cardiac care that is leading the nation in heart surgery outcomes. Your family is your priority. They're ours too. Visit stjosephheart.org.
Colorado Rockies baseball on FSN is brought to you by Chevy. Chevy has 8 models that get an EPA estimated 30 mpg highway or better. Chevy made for Colorado. By your Colorado Hyundai dealers, isn't it time you test drove a Hyundai today? It's time to compare and save. And by Quest, get in the loop and change the way you connect with the things you love. Very pleasant night in Denver. The Rockies have allowed the Arizona Diamondbacks to catch him in the last 3 innings. It's 4-4 as we go to the 8th. Taylor Buchholz is on, and this call to the pen is brought to you, as always, by Comcast Digital Home Phone Service. Call 1-800-COMCAST. Buchholz will face Connor Jackson, Adam Dunn, Mark Reynolds, 3, 4, 5 in Arizona's lineup.
And one number that is not on there is the opponent's batting average against. 179. Only Carlos Marmol of the Cubs has a lower one in the National League.
All-star Carlos Marmol.
Exactly.
He replaced Kerry Wood on the All-Star team, but there were 2 guys, setup men, on Clint Hurdle's radar. There's a comebacker for a potential All-Star berth. One was Carlos Marmol, the other was his own Taylor Buchholz.
Well, and that's where I think next year they might look at bringing some guys like that, guys that have experience pitching in those situations, and guys that you bring to the All-Star game. And it kind of caught the National League this year with a couple of guys getting hurt.
So Clint Hurdle doesn't have to go to David Wright in the 15th inning and say, hey, you got the 16th?
Or Aaron Cook for 3 innings.
Right. And that has apparently affected Aaron.
Yes. I mean, ever since then, he says his back's been hurting a little bit.
Hard curveball, a strike on Adam Dunn.
But that's where the guys that come in the 8th inning, I think, are underappreciated at times from people outside of the game or just viewing the game. The managers understand the role that they have and how important they are.
On the swing, says Mark Wegner. It's 0-2 on Adam Dunn.
You look from the Southwest Sky Cam. Did the big old barrel go through the zone? Yes, it did. I'll revert back to last night's number, Doug. 0-2, 49% of the time. What's he do? He strikes out. Throw it again.
Rockies have the shift on. 3 on the right side of the diamond in the infield. Ian Stewart is playing shortstop. He's playing shortstop, and if this was a normal shortstop, he'd be shaded up the middle as well.
A little pole on the shortstop side. Yep.
He got it. Dunn knew it. Now you got to throw to second.
Well, that was the only thing. When Chris came up to throw this ball around, he had nowhere to go. He goes, oh, wait a second. Ian's over towards shortstop. That was kind of funny. He hopped out of there like he was going to fire it down to third base. But wait a second. No, wait. Where is he? Hard breaking pitch. Now, here's what I'm talking about. Watch Chris come up and act like he's going to throw to third base. Strike 3. Here we go. Oh, wait a second. I got to readjust my sights. Throw out to shortstop.
Reynolds takes a strike. He's a dangerous guy. Mark's got 24 home runs. He is similar to Chris Young. I mean, he's going to strike out. He's got holes in his swing, but when he runs into him, he hits them really, really far.
Well, you don't hit 24 home runs, as you mentioned, without having a little bit of power. I mean, you think each year he's gotten better with his power, too, but the strikeouts have been a problem. It's one of those things, you're going to live with some of the strikeouts if he's going to provide the power for you.
Yep.
It's the guys that strike out a lot and don't hit many home runs aren't going to last long.
You know, his home runs are way down. Or Chris Young. Last year he hit 32. He's got just 15 this year and close to 500 at bats. 2-1 on Reynolds, and that breaking pitch got away. It's 3-1.
You know it's not good when it's August 13th. The guy has 149 strikeouts. Already has the club record.
Yeah. Not what you're looking for?
No. I think it's only going to get higher. I'm just guessing.
So Colorado Springs, the Rockies AAA affiliate, and Tucson Sidewinders, the AAA affiliate of the Arizona Diamondbacks, are also meeting. And last night the Sky Sox got the better of the Sidewinders, 21-5. They had 24 hits. A lot of hitting stars, but the big kahuna was Joe Kashansky, who was up earlier in the year and hit a couple of home runs. Joe hit his second cycle of the year, including a 3-run home run to go over 100 RBIs. That breaking pitch misses, so Reynolds will go to first. Now bring up Chad Tracy. Decks this date in history, August 13, 2003, just as Javier Vasquez is about to throw a pitch to the Rockies' Jay Payton. A second-inning, hour-long blackout at Olympic Stadium leaves the fans and players in total darkness. The Rockies arrive in New York City the next day, just in time to experience a massive blackout, which leaves more than 50 million in the dark, and I remember that evening very well. That was eerie. Line drive at Stewart, and he makes the catch.
Good positioning.
Very good positioning. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th inning. The Rockies 4 and the Diamondbacks 4.
With convenient flights every day, Southwest Airlines gives you the freedom to do business out of town and still come home at night.
Winston, I'm home!
With 15 daily nonstop flights from Denver to Phoenix and Las Vegas for just $79, Southwest is the nonstop leader.
You are now free to move about the country.
Baseball coverage brought to you by LG. LG, life's good. Rockies baseball on FSN. The D-backs aim to secure their place in the West, but the Rockies shake, rattle, and roll. Will send the Snakes slithering home. Coverage starts tomorrow at 1. Rivalry. Loyalty. Pride. The most anticipated college football game of the season is only on FSN Rocky Mountain. The Quest Rocky Mountain Showdown, Sunday, August 31st at 5, exclusively on FSN Rocky Mountain. The Broncos are back on the gridiron. Big hits, big plays, preparing for the start of another big season. Cowboys, Broncos, Sunday at 3.
It's a countdown to the Quest Rocky Mountain Showdown, the annual battle that we've been talking about. The University of Colorado Golden Buffaloes and the Colorado State Rams kick off August 31st, 5 p.m. right here on FSN Rocky Mountain. The Quest Rocky Mountain Showdown only on FSN. And, you know, this kid's nervous about it already. He's chewing on a baseball, and the game's still 3 weeks out.
Pretty white baseball, though.
Did he make that catch?
Why not?
John Roush is on again.
Yeah, Roush was in last night's ball game. Clean inning, one hit. Also had one strikeout. Former closer for the Washington Nationals, came over in a late July deal. Hard throwing guy.
Yeah, Arizona has been busy, not only up to the trade deadline, but after. The deal for Adam Dunn finalized just a couple of days ago. Ionetta's 0 for 3 tonight. Jeff Baker, Brad Hopp to follow.
You got to try to find a way to push a run across here. Obviously in this tie ball game, but you have an opportunity. I mean, you got a lot of different guys. You got your 4, 5, and 6 hitters going.
Second straight ball game for Ionetta in the cleanup spot. Talked about it last night. First Rockies catcher to bat cleanup in a ball game since Todd Green did it in 2005.
Imagine if he would get on, you might see a pinch runner, maybe Corey Sullivan.
It's a thought.
Brian Fuentes in tie ball game, he's already up tossing. No matter what happens, he'll come in next inning.
Three and 2. Roush comes after you with a good fastball, and you have 3 good fastball hitters due up this inning. And this ball line to left center field and deep. Extra bases for Chris Ionetta off the base of the wall. Ionetta will stop at second with a leadoff double. He came with a heater, and Ionetta absolutely smothered it.
He tattooed this baseball. I mean, he just hopped on it. Good location for him, too. Down just a little bit. Didn't have to chase the one that was up. Strike zone will show that it was down in the zone, and he just levels it out there to left center field, right about halfway up the wall. 3/4 of the way up the wall. That ball just kept climbing and climbing and climbing.
Wow, he almost hit that thing out on a line, and it's 415 dead center. You start creeping in that direction. It actually at one point goes out to 424. Corey Sullivan has come on to pinch run as the Rockies try to get the go-ahead run across here in the 8th inning. Nobody out. Jeff Baker at the plate. And Baker showed an ability to bunt for a hit last night. He's got to move him to third.
And think about this, Brad Hopp's on deck next. D-backs have no lefty in their bullpen.
There's the bunt. It's a great one. Nice job by Baker. You know what? Middle of the order guys like Baker aren't asked to do that a lot, but when you are, you better get it done.
And he executed. That's what it's all about, execution. If the manager says bunt, you better be able to get the bunt down. Even though this ball was coming in towards Big from the Hyundai camp, he still has the wherewithal to make sure that he gets that barrel of the bat on the ball, even as he's ducking out of the way. This is his first sacrifice bunt this year, but he got it down in a timely fashion.
And now you have Brad Hopp up.
But here's what I was talking about. Now Chris has to go out to the bullpen, make sure they have a catcher out there, because Yorvit's going to be in the ball game next. Yorvit's getting loose, but now the D-backs have to play this much differently. They got to bring the infield in.
And Hopp just thrives on these situations. Clutch situations late in the game, chance to drive in a go-ahead run. That's the first career sack bunt for Jeff Baker.
The manager says you need to get it done, you get it done.
High drop it high in deep center field. Gone. Forget about the sac fly, just hit it out of the yard. Brad Hopp's 19th of the year, and the Rockies lead it 6-4.
Well, you just described it best, and that Brad just thrives in these situations. Last year, he was one of the best in all of baseball, getting those runners in, and this time, fastball, the tail's back over the middle part of the plate. With a little bit of a leg kick, get that hand down. Boy, that was a quick swing.
Talking about it a few moments ago, Roush is a power guy, and you have 3 guys back-to-back. Obviously, Baker wasn't asked to swing the bat. That are good fastball hitters. And, what a play by Augie Ojeda.
Wow, he just flat out robbed it.
Oh, man, did he ever. As Tulowitzki thought he had himself a base hit to right. Here's the home run again.
Look at those eyes. The eyes just tell the story in that hole at bat. The way he's able to keep them locked on in that baseball the whole time. And when he hit that, he knew it.
How about Brad Hopp tonight? Walk in the first, double in the fourth, double in the sixth, 2-run bomb in the eighth to give the Rockies a 6-4 lead. Is that a ball game?
That's a very nice game. I mean, that's what. Think about some of these too. I mean, 2 of the at-bats were against a lefty, no problem. So they bring the righties in, no problem. But I still go back to the ability of Jeff Baker to lay down the sacrifice bunt. I think that's going to be lost a little bit in the whole scheme of things. Yeah, you look at the home run, that's great. But it was playing small ball that got you to that point.
I'll relay a story Tony La Russa told me last year about how unselfish Albert Pujols is. He said everybody on this club, Albert Pujols included, has hit behind a runner at given times as you're giving himself up. And you know, a lot of times you say Albert Pujols, runner on second base, doesn't matter, RBI situation, even nobody out. But late in the ball game, if it calls for it, you know, Albert's going to hit behind the runner, and he's done it on a number of occasions. And that's a superstar, middle of the order superstar, doing the little things to help his team get a win, and that's what you're describing.
But that's how you get the respect of your teammates, is just doing those sort of things, those unselfish things, because everybody's going to sit there and go, well, yeah, I'm going to try to get a hit RBI, but no, that's not what that called for. And when you do that, now all of a sudden your teammates are saying, yeah, this guy is on board. He wants to, he's a winner, basically.
Inside at 93, it's 3-2 on Stewart.
Just a little bit inside the strike zone. John Roush almost identical to the pitch he threw right before that.
High in the air, and I think he just missed it. Dunn is going to have a play. He didn't miss it by much. The Rockies have a 6-4 lead thanks to Brad Hopp. His 19th home run of the year, 11 of which have either tied the game or given the Rockies a lead.
2 Molson Canadians?
You got it.
Man, that's a good beer.
Lots of flavor.
Yeah, but it goes down easy.
It's from Canada. It is beautiful up there.
Well, it's like a postcard.
Good people, too.
Yeah, just good people living in that beautiful landscape, making this incredibly tasty beer.
That's poetic. Pass the peanuts.
With a big taste and a nice finish. Molson Canadian, an honest brew.
Connect online and play against anyone in the world. With the best in entertainment. Comcast and Wii. Sign up for the Comcast Premier Triple Play today and get a free Wii system.
Colorado Rockies baseball on FSN is brought to you by Shortline Subaru on Havana in Aurora. They want to be your Subaru dealer. By Amco AA MCO. By Comcast Digital Home Phone Service. Warm up to unlimited local and long distance. Call 1-800-COMCAST. And by Southwest. With Southwest Airlines, fees don't fly with us. Visit southwest.com today. At Coors Field, the Rockies, courtesy of a 2-run home run from Brad Hopp, enjoy a 6-4 lead as we go to the top of the 9th inning. Let's check in with Tom Helmer at the Chevy Sports Desk. Tommy.
Yeah, Drew Cutterback for the ball game will be in the clubhouse for action. Hopefully we'll hear from Brad Hopp and the big night he's had. We'll also update you on how the Rockies minor leaguers that are on the U.S. Olympic team did today in their game against Korea. And coming up on FSN Live, the Cowboys and Broncos sharing training camp, but they're not playing nice together. We'll have all those details coming up after the ball game.
Lot to do. Thanks, Tom. Brian Fuentes has one thing on his mind, getting outs 25, 26, and 27 of this ball game. And he has been a master at it. I think over the last month or so, we've seen Brian Fuentes at his very, very best. And we've seen him good in the past.
Well, and think about some of the pressure he had going up to the trading deadline. I mean, this guy has just been rock solid for Clint Hurdle coming out. And they'll have Yorvit Torrealba to throw to behind the plate after Corey Sullivan came in and ran for Chris Iannetta.
Chris Snyder is up first, and he takes a strike. And that has been such a consistent pattern over the last 4, 5, 6 weeks for Brian Fuentes. Strike one.
And that's why he's been so good. ERA below 1 in his last 13, 14 ball games. The ability to work ahead. Now you can do so many different things. Change up, that slider right there. I mean, your options are much greater when you work ahead than when you're falling behind the whole time.
It's Snyder, Augie Ojeda, and the only right-handed bat left is Chris Burke. Rockies trying to beat Arizona for just the second time this year. 1-9 against the Diamondbacks thus far in 2008.
You contrast that to last year when the Rockies took the series. They were 10-8 against the D-backs, including the NLCS. Or DS, excuse me.
No, not including that one, yeah. The NLCS.
It's even better if take those 4 games sweep.
14-8 if you want to throw those in there. 3-1 on Snyder. Snyder tonight a walk, a comebacker, and a double in the 7th inning. That started a 2-run rally as Arizona caught the Rockies. Popped up.
Right below us.
Get this question periodically. How many baseballs fly into our booth at Coors Field a year? You'd be surprised, folks. 0 or 1. I don't remember a year where you had more than 1.
Last year, I only remember 1.
Haven't had any this year. There's the 3-2. Strike 3 on the inside corner. He's got Chris Snyder. And he's going to bark for a little bit at Jeff Kellogg.
I'm not sure what he was thinking. Brian's able to battle back, being down in the count 3-1, gets the foul ball, make it 3-2. And the fastball, he just works underneath the hands and at the knees. And the strike zone shows it might have been in a little bit, but I'm guaranteeing in this situation, if it's that close, you got to swing the bat.
And Bob Melvin and Jeff Kellogg chatting from afar. And Bob's just got to protect his players. Yeah. That's why he's continuing that discussion a little bit. Augie Ojeda is at the plate. Burke is in the on-deck circle, and that pitch misses. Ojeda's 0 for 3. A couple of ground outs and a pop to short.
What was that pitch? Brian wants to know on that one. He gave it the old double clutch when he looked in. Look at the fastball. And it's the same pitch he just called a strike on Snyder.
That's a strike at 91. Brian Fuentes, the first Rocky ever to have 4 seasons of at least 20 saves. Swung on and missed. It's 2-2.
A pinpoint location. 93-mile-an-hour fastball. The Hyundai cam will show that whip coming through the zone. Augie Ojeda tardy on the swing. When you're tardy, you work underneath the ball. That's what happened.
Here's the 2-2. Only 4 left-handed pitchers lead a franchise in saves. Everybody wants lefties. You can tell that's way in.
Yeah.
Everybody wants lefties, but most of them don't work the 9th inning, or at least on a regular basis. Billy Wagner, a very notable left-handed closer. Eddie Guardado for a long time. Here's the 3-2, and it's fouled off.
Each year, the Rockies Charity Fund, a fund in the McCormick Foundation, holds the Hal O'Leary Awards Dinner. It's a special dinner here on Coors Field to honor the accomplishments of disabled individuals and their dedication to community service. The 2008 Hal O'Leary Awards Dinner will be held on September 10th this year. For more details, call 303-312-2337.
Here's the 3-2 on Ojeda. Up high, so Augie walks, and that'll bring the tying run to the plate. Chris Burke, other notable lefty closers, John Franco naturally.
Yep.
Time for our Nissan momentum shift of the game. Could be only one play tonight. A few minutes ago, Brad Hopp looking for a fly ball, got a big fly. Hit it about 440. 2-run home run, and the Rockies stake to a 6-4 lead. Brian Fuentes 1 out, 1 on. In the 9-hole, Chris Burke pinch hitting.
And Burke on the year 2 for 15 as a pinch hitter.
And Pops is fouling out of play. Burke and Qualls came in the Jose Valverde deal in the offseason from the Houston Astros.
And a versatile guy, can play a lot of different positions, gives Bob Melvin a little bit of flexibility, no more for his ability to field the baseball than to hit. And I think that's one area that the Diamondbacks are a little bit short after Tony Clark, is their bench. Being able to have guys come off it and hit.
Tomorrow, an afternoon affair. 1 o'clock, we're on the air right here on FSN Rocky Mountain. And then it'll be a late night for the Rockies. We're off to Washington. 3-game set over the weekend against the Nationals. And then it's back across the country to play the Dodgers beginning Tuesday. And tomorrow afternoon, Dan Herron will go for the Diamondbacks. He's 12-6. He's having a great year. Glendon Rush is pitching very well for the Rockies.
That was a start that Aaron Cook was going to have, and Rockies backed him off for that.
This is fought off to right. It's going to drop. So Burke reaches on a broken bat single. And now the top of the order in Stephen Drew.
It's a slider that chased him in onto his hands. A Hyundai cam. Burke just puts that head down, hit it right off the label, the trademark of the bat. They will bloop it out into right field. He didn't hit it all that hard, but hit it in a good spot.
So Drew steps up. He had a double in the 7th inning and scored. In fact, scored the tying run at the time. He has a 15-game hitting streak. And this ball is rifled to right. Hop's going to field it on a bounce, and they are going to send Ojeda. The throw goes to third, and it hits Burke. And now moving up into scoring position is Drew, and he's the go-ahead run. You want to keep the double play in order there.
That was just a bad decision by Brad out in right field.
You do not want that runner to move up.
Not at all. I mean, you look at this. When the ball was hit, the runner at Augie Ojeda out at second base, realizing that Brad's playing back, Chip Hale, the third base coach, decides to wave him in. Well, Chris Burke goes ahead and goes to third base. We'll get another look at this. That ball was hit hard, and Augie got the read on it. Chip Hale the whole way is waving him, going to put the pressure on the Rockies. But you have to throw the ball into second base to keep the double play in order.
Chris Young at the plate. Close to 300 against lefties. Against righties, he's down around 200. Young is a guy that will strike out. And if Brian Fuentes could get a punch out right here with the infield in, that would be a real good thing. Tying run at third base in Burke. 1-1. And all of a sudden, the RPMs have picked up. Brian Fuentes working 90-91 initially. Now he's 93-94.
Well, he obviously understands the importance of getting this guy on a strikeout. But just the whole dynamics of this innings have changed just in a matter of seconds with not being able to throw to the right base.
Slider, and it was a little bit low.
You have to bring your infield in now. The strike zone just worked on the, looked like the corner part of the plate. Chris Young was sitting on a breaking pitch. That's the only way he lays off that.
Fouled off, 2-2.
And my point being a second ago is your dynamics have to change, because all of a sudden, instead of having the middle guys and Troy and Clint playing back in a double play depth, you have to play him in, because now the winning run's out at second base.
Connor Jackson is on deck. He's no walk in the park, but first things first, you got to get Young. Here's the 2-2. Good pitch and a good job by Young
to get on top of that fastball. But looking at this, so if you get Young, okay, the winning run's already out at second base. You can intentionally walk Connor Jackson, and then you bring up Adam Dunn, lefty on lefty. Your odds are go back and swing to your favor. You strike this guy or pop him up.
2-2 again. He's got it. 2 outs. And now Torrealba calls time to talk about that very point you made. Pass on Jackson, who's just eating up left-handed pitching.
Fuentes just overmatches Chris Young with that fastball. Monday camp, just a straight four-seamer. We've seen the strikeouts from Chris Young this year. Brian knows the importance of that.
Yeah, you got to put him on.
You have to.
He's hitting in the mid-360s against lefties, and you have Dunn, who has a 200 average against lefties in the on-deck circle.
Yeah, and the other thing, too, Dunn 2 for 8 in his career against Fuentes, but the other thing is it sets up the force play at any base.
And Bryant, I mean, his opponent's average righties 226. It's tremendous. Lefties is 219. Historically, though, lefties have done even poorer than that against one of the toughest left-handers in the game. So Jackson to first. It'll load the bases, and Adam Dunn, in his second ball game in an Arizona uniform, will be asked to come through.
This is why they got Adam Dunn for just this situation. Now Brian's got to refocus back to the plate after throwing 4 pitches out of the zone, intentionally walked. Now you rethink and you refocus your adrenaline and your energy back towards throwing the quality hard fastball and the hard sliders again.
That's right. And it brings back into play a pitch, that slider, that he uses far more to lefties than to righties. There's the fastball at the knees at 93, strike 1.
Couldn't ask for better location on that fastball than that one right there.
Dunn and Howard tie for the National League lead in home runs. Here's the 0-1.
Did he go?
Gotta check that one out.
What are they gonna check?
No, guess not. 1-1. That almost nicked the bat.
Well, it did, and that's why I thought he almost went. Boy, he was just able to hold up at the last instant. That chased him under his hands.
Slider missed. It's 2-1. That swing pitch, that 1-1 pitch, and now it favors the hitter. Dunn knows there's no place to put him. He's going to sit on a fastball. There, he never moved the bat. It's 2-2.
Well, it's unusual for a big slugger like Adam Dunn just to be ahead in the count 2-1 and take the fastball right down Broadway.
And again, he's got to be sitting dead red.
Yeah. And now that slider comes back into play, though.
Yes, it does. Brian Fuentes says he loves these moments. Here we go, 2-2. Wow. Torrealba framed it on the outside corner. Jeff Kellogg didn't buy, and we're out full.
Strike zone, it was out off the plate a little bit, but you hit your catcher like that, you think it's a strike.
3-2, keep in mind, Dunn has one of the best eyes in the game. Bases loaded, nowhere to put him. On the ground to Tulowitzki. They go across the diamond. Rockies win it 6-5, not without some drama in the ninth. What a job by Brian Fuentes as he gets Adam Dunn for the 27th out. And the Rockies, for just the second time this year, have knocked off the Diamondbacks. Our Land Rover legendary performance of the game, Brad Hopp. He was perfect tonight. 3 for 3, including a 2-run bomb at the bottom of the 8th to give the Rockies a 6-4 lead, and eventually the 6-5 win. Brad Hopp, our legendary performer of the game, presented by Land Rover. So the Rockies prevail 6-5. It was entertaining. The winning pitcher is Taylor Buchholz. The losing pitcher, John Roush. Stick around, the Chevy postgame report right after the break.
The best stuff ever.
Brought to you by Radio Shack.
At Radio Shack, a helpful associate suggested a wireless network to stop my family from fighting over the computer. New laptops, plus a printer and router, create a sharing spirit, which emanates from our home, making it a place where all walks of life come together in harmony. And it all began with the help I got at Radio Shack.
Now that's doing stuff.
Amanda.
Gary.
Wow. You look amazing.
Same old Gary.
No, listen. I'm sorry about the way things ended. I was immature, but I've been doing some soul searching. I've matured.
Bye, Gary.
You can't always be smooth, but your beer should be. Brewed for a smooth taste that's never bitter. Keystone Light is always smooth. Even when you're not.
She turned around and left the cave, and I'm standing there by the pool of water alone, like I am in all of my dreams. And it just brought up a whole bunch of issues that...
Tym piórze nie ma atramentu.
What?
I wtedy możemy zacząć dopiero pracować.
Using a broker you can't understand doesn't make much sense either. That's why Edward Jones speaks in a language you can understand, so financial decisions get the attention they deserve. Edward Jones, making sense of investing.
It's on everybody's mind these days. So trade up to better fuel economy now at the Chevy Model Year-End event. Trade up to Cobalt XFE with better standard highway fuel economy than Corolla and Civic. Get $1,500 total purchase cash on most 2008 Chevy Cobalt models. Chevy, made for Colorado.
Brian Fuentes facing Adam Dunn with the bases loaded and 2 outs. He grounds it to Troy Tulowitzki for the final out of the ball game as the Rockies hang on to beat Arizona by a final score of 6-5 and even out this 3-game series. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Chevy Sports Desk. Tom Helmer alongside Eric Hillman and Joel Klatt. First, let's take an up to the second look at the NL West standings, where you see the Rockies now 8 games back. So they pick up a game with the win against Arizona. The Dodgers right on Arizona's heels. They are a half game back, but a much-needed win for Colorado. If they can win again Thursday afternoon, they will be 7 back after this series. And it's not necessarily what the Rockies had hoped for. They certainly wanted to sweep this series, maybe get within 5, but it's better off than losing, that's for sure, Eric.
How come you're not sweating? I'm sweating. I'm sweating right now.
You're just a sweater.
That was a tough out, but hey, you know what? You can't win. You can't go on a little bit of a winning streak till you win the first one. The Rockies do that. They still have 7 games left versus Arizona, 6 against the Dodgers. So you know what? Hey, they're not out of it.
And I tell you, this is going to get lost in the shuffle. A lot to talk about tonight, but Barmes and Taveras at the top of the order really setting things up for the meat of the Colorado Rockies order. 3 for 7 tonight. Only 3 hits last night for the whole top 6 in the order, so those guys really setting the table, getting things going offensively.
Brad Hopp had a huge night. 3 for 3, 2 doubles, a home run. Right now he's out at Coors Field with our own Alana Rizzo.
All right, thank you very much. Brad Hopp, first of all, congratulations on the win tonight. I say that because a win against the Diamondbacks this year is a big win for the Rockies. First of all, you are no stranger to coming up big in clutch situations. Were you thinking about hitting the home run, or did you just want to get a sac fly?
No, I just wanted to get something in the outfield. The guy that pitched his fastballs up. I knew he was going to challenge me with his fastball. He's got a good fastball, and so I just tried to look for it right there and put the barrel of the bat on the ball.
And one thing that can't be lost is Jeff Baker's sac bunt to, effectively play the small ball to put you guys in a position as first of his career. Can you just speak a little bit about that?
Yeah, I'm going to say that it was just the whole team. Francis pitched a great game for us. We had some good defensive moments. We had some good swings. It's just a good game for us. It was a game we needed to win, and everybody came through.
One question for you defensively, Brad. Can you take us through your decision on that Stephen Drew hit to right that you threw to third instead of second? What was that about?
Yeah, he just, it was a hard hit ball. I saw Chris Berg getting the second. About time I was getting the ball. I know he's coming off the bench, so his legs probably aren't fresh. And I was throwing to third thinking, well, worst case scenario, the guy's not going to make it to second. He did, but, I thought I had him at third. It's just one of those plays where you got to try to make the play. You play aggressive. If things don't work out, you're all right. But, our team came through. We got a guy like Fuentes on the mound, and it kind of worked out for us. We got the pitch around Connor Jackson and go after Adam Dunn right there, and it kind of worked out good.
All right, nice win for you tonight, Brad. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it. All right, guys, back to you.
All right, thank you, Alana. And it is interesting, the 2 people that Arizona brought in to improve their chances of winning the division actually didn't help them out tonight. John Roche gives up the home run to Brad Hopp. He came over from the Nationals. And Adam Dunn, who they got from Cincinnati, fails to get a hit there in the 9th inning. I'm not trying to make a point. I'm just saying it's interesting.
Insert the laugh track right there.
I don't know if it's a laugh track thing. Let's bring in Jeff Hewson. And, Jeff, you can certainly laugh if you like to, but I'd like to talk about the 8th inning there for the Colorado Rockies. Iannetta gets a double. Baker with the sacrifice to get the runner over to third. Then, of course, Brad Hopp comes up huge with a home run. Kind of a textbook inning there.
Well, it's like how you would diagram it in a tie ball game in the bottom of the 8th inning, other than maybe a home run to lead off that inning. But you get the double from Chris Iannetta was probably about a foot and a half away from going out. And then the play that, for me, really locked that whole inning in was the sacrifice bunt by Jeff Baker, his first career sacrifice bunt. And now as a hitter, I'm sitting on easy street here because the infield's in. You get a guy like Brad Hopp, good fastball hitter, good fastball pitcher. Something's good's going to happen. And that's exactly what happened. Brad was able to take the ball out of the ballpark, but it was all set up by the bunt to get the runner over to third base.
Hey, let's talk a little bit about Jeff Francis. I know he didn't factor into the record or the scoring tonight, but you know what? He came out after his second start coming off the disabled list. As a former left-hander myself, I really like what I saw out of him. He looked very comfortable on the mound, and I'm sure the Rockies noticed that his velocity was back. In his first start against the Nationals, I thought he was maybe at 88, 89 miles an hour. Tonight, he got some balls in the low 90s, and you really got to like it. And the Rockies really have to like what they saw tonight as well.
Well, it just looked free and easy for me, Eric. That's the thing about it. There was no laboring throughout the whole game where you felt like, oh, he's getting a little bit tired. His arm looked good. His extension, to me, was outstanding tonight, and that allowed him to work that changeup good and work that fastball away. He threw 6 innings, 85 pitches, so that's pretty economical as far as your pitch count goes, too.
Hey, Huey, how about Ian Stewart? You know, this guy has done nothing but impress this second stint with the big club. He's hitting over 400 against left-handers, another home run tonight. Obviously, that work that he's doing off the tee with hitting coach Alan Cockrell is paying off. He's much shorter. The long swing that we saw early in the season is gone. He's getting to the baseball much quicker.
Well, I think, Joel, you played this game. You understand a lot of times when people say you hit off the tee, I think they think, well, you go back to T-ball. Well, hitting off the tee is one of the best things you can do to just groove that swing, because you have to have the barrel of the bat, your hands in the right position. Everything has to work together to be able to hit it correctly off the tee. And then you go from there, you take that into batting practice. But those are the little things that you have to work on constantly to make sure your swing stays where you need it. And the work that he's put in with Ace has just been phenomenal. The way he's been able to get to the ball now, it's something special.
Huey, the ninth inning was a flat-out heart attack, and one of the plays was the single to right field. Brad Hop's playing deep to prevent the double, but then the throw in, he throws it to third instead of second. Then you had runners at second and third instead of first and third, and it could have been big trouble.
Well, to me, it's one of those plays when you have a great arm, sometimes you do things in the heat of the moment that you probably shouldn't do. Looking back on this, Brad will say, you know what? I probably should have just thrown it to second base, but he has such a good arm. He wanted to try to get that guy going to third base, but that's not the right baseball play. Baseball play is to keep that guy at first base so you still have your double play in order. Worked out well for the Rockies tonight, but I'm sure it's something that Clint will address and say, hey, next time, maybe just throw it to second base.
We know what they did do right. Pitch around Connor Jackson, pitch to Adam Dunn. That worked out beautifully.
Well, it did work out okay in the long run. That's exactly what happened. You set up the force play, get the ground ball game over, no big deal.
It's so
simple.
Game. It's just that simple. Thank you, Huey. We appreciate it.
Huey.
Jeff Houston out at Coors Field. Time now